think in any way Kewadu amesema hivyo, we were able to disrupt the government. You know how much people were, I mean, the government was overworking today. Matter of fact. So we want to tell them we are going to be, actually, we are demonstrating every single day. They need to know, we need to put them on overdrive. They need to know tukipata nafasi, we are every day. We don't need their fucking permit. We don't need anybody's permission because they don't work, because we are tired. That's what the spirit of Gen Z, the generation of Gen Z. I mean, the motto of Gen Z. They don't have patience for sugarcoating shit. That's what these guys are. They don't have ile mambo ulikuwa umefuta na mama yako, sijui unyamaze, sijui mgeni amekuja kwenu, aanze kukula nyama yenu. No, unamwambia no, that's our food. That's what we need to
Sanjay,
say.
yes, Sanjay,
okay,
thank you.
Sanjay,
You already said,
But
Shay, before
Mohammed,
you speak, can I go
Mohammed,
before you?
just 1 second.
Okay.
Nasema tu tumeshukuru Sanjay na Mohammed, you've been doing a very good job kumoderate. Wewe ni mtulivu na tunashukuru na unacheki hapa merudi, so continue moderating, tuna moderate tu na cheketa kuja up akusaidie. You guys continue doing what now you're doing now going forward, because now I'm sure Cheke will come up to be co-host, and Mohammed, sober mind and a fair man. I appreciate you, my brother.
Asante san. Mohammed is very professional. I don't have that patience. I'm sorry. Mohammed, please go ahead. Asante.
The new cheza kidogo, but maybe this is a man that I respect. Hata mimi na respect Chege pia. Mmefanya kazi mingi sana. QT nyinyi wote, alafu napata mbuda na heshimu zaidi. Tatuita pamoja tukituo ile sala ya saa 12 tutatu pamoja, sio?
Shege is back, but I think he cannot get the co-host thing back again. Can you, Chege? Are you able to do that? He's on mute, I think. Okay. We can't hear you guys speaking. Shege. Anyway, let's continue. Let's see if he joins us. One item that actually and the coming days, I think our messaging has to be that we have to be in the streets for the coming days. I think we have to. We really have a problem now with our planning, because the intelligence, the Ruto boys are all here. And they're adjusting their plans and their policies. Actually, before I came to this space, I was talking to one of the ladies whom I just know in the Java house today for over 7 hours. Because when they threw the tear gas, it's actually poisonous tear gas, they went to hide in the restaurant. And then what the police did, anytime the Gen Z guys ran into a building, they barricade that building. So she told me this is something that actually surprised Gen Z today completely, because they never planned for this. So whatever they're doing, when they will chase 100 people to a building, lock that building, make sure when she actually went to Twitter and made this public, was they released from that place. So we need to plan, come up with the ways so that we get our messaging, our planning offline, either in WhatsApp or in Telegram or some other unconventional ways. We have to move to spaces these guys cannot join, because it's really messing up our plan. We also can, yeah.
Yes, we need to, if there's anybody here now working on behalf of the government, we need to tell them, we need to put them on notice that we now, because there's no opposition, because Ruto is the same animal that lied to us that he can never work with opposition, but he's the same guy who actually working with them now.
But Sanjay,
listen, my boss. Listen, boss. It's okay. Listen, we did not storm the parliament because we were kissing the asses, my friend. Yeah, we didn't go that way. We never went there because these guys, we never went there telling them tafadhali. And by the way, and this is our right. This is tunaomba. Sisi sio watoto watudanganya na watubebe vile wanataka just because they can. And by the way, we are the one who voted them. We can vote them out, and it's actually in Constitution. It's even when we want to work the Sheria Kenya, by the way, it's the contract. It's just a fancy fucking name, Constitution. It's a contract between us and the government and the people we hire. They work for us. And the moment they betray that contract, they don't work for us no more. You need to get that. Now, this kind of behavior of going and playing into Ruto's game, by the way, they'll put us where we belong. Even now, when you work in the way, and you even go and talk to the police officers actually, most of them know very little. They don't know nothing. They only, Ukimurisa, what are you doing here? They say, on us from above. He doesn't even fucking know why he's there. We are taking people, telling people, you don't need to be there. That's a crime now. It's a crime to be you. It's a crime to be Nairobi is always full of people. So we can't go this way. And we can't talk to them because I know they're here. We can't talk to them like that. The reason why they got us today is because we were talking like that.
Sanjay, kwa heshima naweza kuuliza, kwa heshima kubwa sana naweza kuuliza, najua uko America, either uko Minnesota ama uko Iowa or something, naulizaje ndio hata watu waelewe. Muko na group kubwa sana huko, sio?
Tuko na, and we are saying, since we have more money than the stupid money Ruto has.
So why can't we not, vile nilisema earlier, tukumbane kama vile wanawake wa jumuiya kukumbana. Mnatoka kanisani, mnaenda hapa, tukumbane 50-50 hii hapa ama 20, ndio tuweze kupanga. Because we plan how hata tukipresent ya kina Chege watu wote akina KOT tunawaambiaje, sikiza even ndio mpango juu. Sasa what happened ni Diaspora wametuma pesa.
Absolutely.
Lakini hatukufanikiwa, but ultimate goal we need to get this man out. So we have to re-strategize. We are soldiers, and we have to figure out how do we get this man out. We start by disabling systems.
Exactly.
Mimi nashangaa, nimeongea kwa sasa, this is a third space, nimeongea nauliza wanaume na wanawake, mi na joke in an ethical way.
A good deal.
I also know the unethical way, lakini mi naweza chocha watu wangu.
And we need that. By the way, ukisikiza wimbo ya taifa ya Kenya inasema Kenya inastahili heshima na kila mtu akona jukumu ya we have to do everything we have to do, by the way, with no fear and ama shauku ama niambaye. By the way, our Kenya is taken by cartels. See, were the ones who are saying deep state or they kind of whatever, what wameishika vizuri sana. And we cannot now, you can run this Kenya. You and the other guys, everybody here can run Kenya better than these two bureaucrats. We can. So let's actually tuungane. Let's actually DM one another to follow all the diaspora people. Let's have our unit here now, so that when we tabling with these people, we said now we want to get now the Gen Z working with now the millennial and the Gen X and any Kenyan, and we want now to get anybody who not just even sympathetic. We want anybody actually who has our mindset. The politicians too. Before wanyakuliwe, now, because by the way, yes sir.
Tunasema kama sasa watu wakina data scientist, are you a real data scientist? Na unaona kama sasa mama wamejitolea, mpaka kuna mama kwa revolution akina Grace wanasema I'm sure there are things they can do. Lazima tudunge huyu jamaa. Tukiwa diaspora lazima tudunge huyu jamaa ile asikie.
We are going even we were even saying we want to work with either. Now I know Kamara has brought a different ball game. We work with Kamara, we worked with Obama, we work with all of them. We will work with them and we will all get our Trump, even Trump. Tutawak Trump, to this Kenyan for Trump, and if you do this is what we want. This is what we want. The first thing we want we're gonna get this of this guy. And by the way, Trump kwanza ni mtu mzuri sana. I know Trump very, very well because Trump knows my name, because I happen to
Trump,
be very, very ule mzuri sana. Trump namjua kutoka golf. Mzuri sana. I know you. We will get
and that's what I'm saying. So watu wa diaspora msisikia ati tunatuma tu do. We are also I know Grace, they are so passionate.
Exactly. Yeah,
we are working also hard.
We are working. By the way, kwanza, by the way, wale walitoa, by the way, akina Museveni walikuwa diaspora, akina Kagabe wote. I mean, you have to work with the diaspora anyway to have a meaningful revolution. From inside, it's difficult. We have to really fight these people from every angle. That's what we have to do, because that's exactly what they are doing anyway. Now they are the ones getting foreigners, but we are not foreigners. While working a foreigner, we will work with them. We are Americans. Sisi nusu Americans. We are full Americans. Kwa nusu American. We will not 100% Kenyans. That tutarundi Kenya na tutakomboa Kenya. Because this, we cannot take this nonsense. Now I want a monopoly.
Okay. But Janini, Sanjay, Pole, yes, but najua Mohammed ndio moderator hapa, so naangalia time and mimi na wewe tumeenda kidogo, so Mohammed, please, I'm sorry,
take over.
Please go ahead, sir.
Okay, welcome. Does anyone else want to speak among those guys with the speakers? Unfortunately, we cannot give a new speaker the mic, a new listener the mic.
Yeah, and that's why we have to be civil, so that you can direct us.
Yeah. I'm just reminding everyone, I don't have any access to give anyone the mic, so the host and the co-host are both gone. Chege is back, but he doesn't have the co-host. He doesn't have the tools anymore. So data scientist Akili, Samuel, anyone of you guys want to speak? You're most welcome.
Akili hajasema kitu, amekaa hapa sana.
Okay.
Sanjay, mute yourself, please. Let Samuel speak. Okay, thank you. Okay. Welcome, Samuel.
Okay, unanisikia vizuri?
Yes, we hear you well.
Okay, good. Ile kitu ningependa kuongezea ni hii. Niseme kwamba hii issue ya connect na kutoa.
Your background sound, your background noise, Samuel, your background noise. Samuel. Unapiga ama nini? Unapiga chakula manini?
Nimeingia job saa hizi, ni job nimeingia. Okay, so niko nasema hivi, acha nataka tu sema haraka haraka. Ile kitu ningependa kusema ni hii mambo ya kuweka nini, kusema kuingia kwa WhatsApp na nini, inaweza ikaleta shida kwa sababu ya hao watu wa Ruto. Remember, you don't know who is who, na mtu the moment ampata namba yako itakuwa very 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 problem, kwa sababu wanaweza kukushika. Kama mimi wanaweza kuja hapa jua kali saa yote wanichukue, unaona? So vitu kaa hizo lazima pia tukifikiria, tunafikiria venye tuna like to protect also ourselves.
Yeah, thank you. That's a very good point. Yeah. Someone please mute.
Just a minute.
Okay, asante. Akili, data scientist. Are you guys here?
Hawapo. Na since hawapo, but Mohamed na Sanjay,
Yes.
na niko sure kuna watu wengine wanasikiza.
Yeah, guys, please give us a follow. Yeah, for those of us with the account, the data accounts, help us tafadhalini. Asante sana Shay, endelea.
Yeah, tunafuatana. But I think mi kitu si understand ni juu kama overseas kuna watu wengi sana wana talent, na mimi sio Gen Z, but kila mara nikiuliza naambiwa tia, well, good luck to them na tunaombea sana. No, hawa wataki kuombewa, wanataka usaidizi, na pia wao wenyewe pia lazima wakubali kusaidiwa, unaona? So now Ruto changed the game jana, alipiga mama, watoto, so the game has totally changed. Sasa ni raia yote, na mimi naweza omba kama wajenzi wanaweza twist hiyo Gen Z sikuwe ni Gen Z. Juu nasikia hao wengine wanasema ati tunaombea heri na heshima na wakuwa sawa. No, we need to involve every Kenyan ndio wakuwe involved, wawe nasikia. Let me tell you how, sijui ama watu wengine wanajua hapa, but unaona kama hata Raila walianza na storia. They used to meet, they started as a small group. They used to meet at New Stanley Hotel, sijui inaitwa nini sahi pale, actually, and then also 680 Hotel pale opposite Macmillan, walikuwa kipatana hapo. Then they decided, because Moi alikuwa kiwa chapa sana, waka split na kina Imanyara, they split it into splinters. And then when they were building, ndio wakakuja kuambia Moi in one day, hey, tumechoka, we have to have multipartyism. So maybe that's something that Gen Zs can think about that. Sijui. Najua kuna personalities nini hapa na pale, but if you humble yourself, sio lazima ati mtu akuweke. Unaona vile sasa, now they turn around at sijui ka Samuel, ati huyu jamaa tumemwamini amehepa. No, kama Mwenyezi Mungu amesema ni wewe, man or woman, it doesn't even matter. Now, on the other side, kama watu wa overseas watajaribu kusaidia, please kwa embassy. No, hizo embassy, huyo ni clerk, they don't help nothing. Ni watu wale wako huko majuu kule, kuna nguvu, especially America na Canada na sasa UK wana mambo zao, but America, let's put Kamala Harris na Donald Trump kwa sport, ndio waseme tu walai bilai Ruto, na kuna pressure huko, Ruto atasikia hiyo pressure, hatapiga watoto vile alipiga watoto, na si kusema kwa watoto, si ati tunasema ni watoto wadogo, but hatapiga watu vile alipiga watu huko leo. He will be restrained. Huyo mama yuko huko, huyo ni secretary tu fulani. Nakumbuka Biden anaishia. Sasa Harris lazima aweke her best foot. Lazima Harris ajionyeshane, no, mimi ni different, mimi sitakuwa juu. Policy za Kenya za America ni noma sana, zinafanyaga wanamweka kwa sport. Nasema ndio mimi ni coach huyo Biden, but unasikia kuna ile but. So let's remember that. Watu wako
Okay, thank you.
diaspora.
Thank you, Shay. Okay, there are two updates I would like to share with you guys from Bangladesh. Number one is the guys who actually mobilized, who are leading all these. Actually, the guy, not the guys, the guy who was leading was a young Bangladeshi student who was actually in Europe. So he's not even in Bangladesh. So for all those people who are actually guilty shaming Kenyans in diaspora, saying why are they doing that, hawako kwa barabara, they're not coming, then that is the answer. We send billions every year, and we have seen how other countries live, how civilized nations live. And when you actually leave Kenya and see the rest of the world, that's when you become more and more angry. So that's the answer. Bangladesh did it, and there's no reason that us Kenyans in diaspora cannot contribute to our country and actually agitate for a better Kenya. That is that. The next update is the former, most of you will have seen this, the former Nobel Peace Laureate Muhammad Yunus, who actually created Grameen Bank, which was actually a microeconomic based bank. He took millions of Bangladeshis out of poverty. Was actually he was actually in Paris the day the prime minister fled the country. So the student went to his hospital bed and actually requested him to fly back to Bangladesh to be appointed the interim leader. So he was sworn in today. So again, in Kenya, they were saying, even Raila was saying, Ruto Akenda, the military will take over, there will be anarchy. Now that's the answer. There's a peaceful transfer of power. There's no anarchy, no destruction. The riots have completely stopped, and the military is just neutral. That's now also the answer. So these guys, they always like to create fear among people and say, okay, Ruto Akenda, there will be no Kenya. So that's the answer. We should actually give them an example of Bangladesh. No, it did not happen. Stop scaremongering us. Stop guilty shaping us. Kenyans in diaspora will contribute to this discussion. Once this guy leaves, we have a proper structure in place. We have the Chief Justice who can take over. We have that transitional government authority that Miguna was talking about. There's so many other options. Anarchy is not the solution. No one is actually going out there to risk his life so that Kenya is destroyed. We don't want to do that. But every day you have seen, I think it was Shay who shared, there's a young Kenyan boy in today, he was actually given an interview. Just like peaceful guy, just talking to a TV. He was roughed up, he was beaten on live TV. It's there on the internet. He's not harming anybody. He's not throwing a stone. He's not doing anything. He's just giving a television interview. And that tells you how inhumane these guys is. They hate us so much. So even they don't even have an empathy. They know that Kenyans are angry. They know that Kenyans are dead. They know that some of them are in the morgues right now, in mortuaries, and their bodies have not been identified. They know some are missing. They know some are in jail. They don't even have the empathy to actually conduct their programs in a way that not to annoy Kenyans more. What do? This guy called something Kipchuma Murkomen. He created a whole party in front of his ministry. These are the facts from Western Kenya. This guy who was ODM leader. Someone remind me his name. I forgot. Oparanya, Wycliffe Oparanya. He had a huge party. Now, what are you celebrating? Kenyans are on the streets. They're shedding their blood. They're being killed. It's like they're just telling us, we own this state. We own this place. We know this script. We know how to run it. You guys get the middle finger. You can do absolutely nothing to us. And then someone comes and tells you, GenZs munataka nini? Seriously? I'm not a Gen Z, I'm a millennial, but this I honestly don't see any other hope in Kenya. If we lose this momentum that these kids brought for us, it's over. And there's one story I would like to remind you all. In 1958, there was actually a test match, a cricket test match. I follow cricket. It's a very weird, very funny sport between Pakistan and West Indies. That is in 1958. So West Indies at the time was the most strongest cricket nation on earth. So Pakistan were outbeaten in the first day of the test match. So there's this guy who's called Hanif Mohammed. He was a batsman, and he kept on defending. This thing goes for 5 days. You know, it's a it's a 5 days. It's not like football. You run around for 90 minutes. The match is over. You play around for real. It's called the real men sport. You know, when I talk to my football friends, I tell them, we play cricket until the men go one side and the Mbuzi guys go the other side. So it is 5 days. Not at 90 minutes unakimbi alafu unasema the match is over. Apana. So this is what happened in this match. When Pakistan were outplayed, so they were supposed to lose the match in 2 days, in the second day. Just the second day. It was supposed to be 5 days match. So this guy stands up for Pakistan and blocks all the balls for the entire day. The captain neither the captain said a word, nor the batsman. The note said, you are our entire day defended. Then he came back, he said, you can do it. He put another note again, he said, you can do it. The fourth day came. He said, if you can bat until tomorrow, we will save the match. Hanif Mohammed did that. And to this day, it is the longest running test innings ever. Since 1958, that record has not been broken. So for all we lose this and it's done. Thank you very much.
Wow,
Those
Mohammed.
of you, the speakers,
Wow,
those
Mohammed.
of you, the speakers, go ahead, Sanjay, go ahead, yeah.
Yeah, thank you. So, oh my goodness, yeah, thank you for that. So you mean the actually the leader for Bangladesh? You said he was in Europe.
Exactly, he was in Europe for actually medical treatment. The kids went to him, told him, we have no other option, you have to go back. He went back. Businessman, yeah, and all along they were scared and I saying, oh, the military will take over. Farah Malim was there in the parliament today lying, saying, see these kids, they removed the prime minister of Bangladesh, but the military is in control. Niwongo, they don't even watch the news. These guys, the Nobel laureate guy was sworn in. He's highly respected, and for the last 15 years, because he's a very successful businessman, he was critical of the government, telling what you're doing is wrong, what you're doing is wrong. So now people, because he built that rapport with the people and that he cares for them, and that's why he won this prize. They unanimously agreed this is the right person to lead this government. He's in charge today.
But they Sinobaya, but question again. So I guess you take over because again we don't got caught up in the same cycle we were with that JM. where we just now, it's almost like a KTN interview. So ati Mohammed, Mamimi, Nasanje, no. I'm sure there are people that want to talk some other things.
Yeah, small update.
Yeah.
Shege restarted his machine and lost the co-host rights.
Yeah,
So even him,
and I see Akina Dida there, and I see
yeah,
Grace.
even him, he's trying
Grace
to get
has always
QOT.
some. QT ameamka
Amemka?
bado.
Yeah, he's trying to get QOT. Unless he gets QOT to get him the co-host.
Yeah,
Even
but again, we can deceive tu tuna unaona, we don't need a prefect kama huyo JM. No, we can manage ourselves. We're grown people, sino tu wazima, and tunaweza manage ourselves. So kama Grace umeitokomeza, ongea toka nyuma ya fence. Josephine, very passionate. Na pole sana, I had ulikuwa mgonjwa hiyo juzi when she was supposed to be actually going for maandamano, akagonjeka kidogo vile alisema juzi, and she could not make it, but she has passion. Now at the end of the day, sisi wote, we have passion for this country because we love this country. It doesn't matter where you go or how long you spend in whatever country. Leo unaweza enda kumbaka kwa moon, America, Canada, it doesn't matter. Home will always be home. Na ndio maana watu wako Kenya ni wape tu update kidogo. Unaona watu wako outside of the country wanampa do because they believed tunaweza change, and we're going to change it. It's just a matter of time. Na there's no way Mwenyezi Mungu atatufikisha hapa na atuachilie. There's no way. No, I don't believe that. Mama yangu marehemu alituambiaga Mwenyezi Mungu afikishagi katikati, she will see you through. So tuombe, na wala kuswali tuswali sala zetu, and we'll see, tutaona matokeo. Back to you, Mohammed.
we have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of us with a mic. Now if we remove QOT, that's 6. So we are left with only 6 of us who can speak.
Okay, mimi najitoa.
Yeah, okay. No. It won't help anybody. Shay.
Yeah.
No one can get the mic. You know, that's not how it works. Even if you
I think one thing that happened with that Uhuru Park thing, Mashujaa thing, really boosted our morals. We need something.
And there, I feel so bad because there were all evidences. All evidences were there. Hakukukuwa na mtu mwenye hakuwa anajua that we are messing up. It is very sad, but we have to, because now we are here, we cannot continue blaming each other any longer, you know, because even this other old man, well, if they were still there together, I would say that he's some evil that can at least anaweza sikia mtu na anarudi nyuma kidogo, but it's still the same. It's still the same bogus shit, you know. But now that we are here, we cannot continue saying that, oh, it is now time for Luos to punish these other people, and then wait for another time that now it is now Kikuyus who are punishing these other people because you installed this one. Those are bullshit. You tell your people to open their minds. I don't know why Kenyans have refused to work on themselves. We are demanding leaders of principles, but even us, we don't have any principles. We stand for nothing, we fall for everything. Watu wako tu, hata uelewi story, but sasa wewe uko tu mtu wenyu hata Mbadi has been an MP for 15 years. Uko kwake hata barabara ya kwenda kwao is mad. You want to tell me that now he's going to do some miracle? Ati sasa amepewa, sasa wewe uko na bana, mkwe watu serious. Hata nyinyi bana Wakenya, hata sisi tukwe serious. We need to also work on ourselves. Sijui ni na watu wamesoma tu vizuri. I don't understand Kenyans, by the way. A lot of things are missing. Vichwa zetu kuna nuts. I'm so mad, by the way. Anyway, let me give another person a chance. Thank you, KOT.
Okay, Chege, can you take over?
I can. Hi guys.
Okay. Go ahead.
Alimaliza?
Yes, alimaliza kitambo.
Oh. Sawa, pole.
Watch a lactose. Lactose can go ahead.
Leaders of principles, but
Njeve akiona manze niende kudedi, I'm not ready to die. Kuna hizo ni vitu ina instill fear kwa wasee, and it's a reality. Kuna mtu ako ready yes kutokezea, and yet kama kunaona kama kwa Occupy Parliament, it's legal kwa Occupy Parliament because it's something that unaweza peleka petition hapo, it's within the law and vitu kama hizo. So tukigo extreme, which tumefanya kazi poa, and ukiangalia sahi tunaweza stua gava without Raila, that is something big tumefanya in less than 2 months. Kitu Raila amefanya his whole career. You can imagine. So tumefanya kitu ingine tu ajab, niliona tumeparalyze business yote, hakuna kitu ilikuwa inafanyika kwa the whole county of Nairobi. Na ukiangalia county ya Nairobi ifanyi, inamaanisha country, hizo county zingine zinakuwa affected. So tuko tu within track, na kuna other strategies tunaweza weka kama kwa vile kama hii imekuwa ngumu, tunaweza occupy bado embassy, tunaweza decide kama vile Wahindi walifanya wakitoa manitaje British, tunaweza amua kupeleka shit maze, tupeleke shit Nairobi mzima inuke shit. Yani hii ni pressure mpaka Ruto ashindwe kuget do, ashindwe kumanage gava ndia hadi resign, because the only thing kama focus ni Ruto must go. Ni lazima tujue it's not gonna be easy, but we can apply pressure. Akikosa pesa, kiparalyze government, then atarun gava gani? Hakuna gava atarun. So hizo tujeke tu moral, bado tuko within the course. Tusijibit tukifikiria ati just because leo tuko achieve ati go down. Tuko tu sawa kabisa, tuko sawa kabisa. Hata hizo stories za tribalism, hizo vitu lazima tuta encounter, kwa sababu huwezi underestimate influence ya a person like Raila, for example, unaelewa? So hizo ni vitu zina happen juu ni political, so we are in a political discourse that hizi obstacles lazima tuzi encounter, but all in all tuko poa tu. Mimi naona tuko poa. So focus tu, Ruto must go. Tuendelee kuambia wasee ni nini tunataka Ruto, why should Ruto go. Hiyo message lazima ikuwe clear. Tuendelee tukiambia wasee, yani chikini manze do zenyu zinaibiwa because tuko in that position, let's continue and do it and do it and do it until itakuwa organic tu, itakuwa organic juu nani angetel hiyo 25th ingekuwa that big because ilikuwa organic. Just let's continue doing it na itakuwa, trust me itakuwa. Kama tumefika mahali si tunaweza simamisha gava, trust me itakuwa. Ni hayo tu kwa leo manze.
Osando, go
Asante
ahead.
sana. Who else do we have? Nobody with their hand up. Oh, he got the real Joe. The real Joe. Mambo.
Poa sana.
Osando, we can't hear you. Hatukusikii.
Did you say on Sando?
Culture. Is the real Joe talking?
No, ni Osando alikuwa
Simsikii
Okay,
anaongea.
yeah,
Osando.
okay.
Unataka
I hear you now. 2 minutes. I want to say that today it was a success. Why? Reasons we were able to shut down the CBD business. Nairobi ilikuwa stand still. No business was going on. And that's exactly why I say we won. Now, one of the recommendations that I have is that we need to Sundays needs to be our main day of protesting. Wachana na Tuesdays, Jumaine. Sundays when these guys go to church, they get sanitized, wananunua church elders and church priests and whatever they are, they call themselves. Uh, we need to start. Sunday needs to be our first day of protest of every day, and in fact, tomorrow people need to go out. Now, why do I say this? Because we one of the things why we were not effective today is because we needed like a rehearsal. Like yesterday, we needed to come out and tease these guys out. But it's a good thing. It's a learning curve. We know what they are and what we are, what we want. Now, since Ruto has managed to come to our game and kinda scored 50+1% of our game. Now I think it's time for us to go out and defeat him in his own yard. So let's know when he's going out to. Chege, please mute your mic. Chege, where Chege? Tafadhali, mute your mic. KOT, you can mute Chege's mic. There's an
Sorry,
echo.
sorry, 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 sorry.
Thank you, Chege. Now, listen, guys. Let us defeat Ruto on his own game. We gave him time. He gave us time. We were so reluctant. Now, I want to know where Ruto is going to be next. I think it's Eldoret, but I think we can get 50 people in Eldoret, right? He postponed Eldoret's rallies because he wanted to swear in cabinet secretaries on the same day we were having Mandabanos, so people from Kisumu and all over the country could celebrate, one of our own in quotes. One of our own in quotes. Guys, you are dealing with drug barons like Joho 001. He's a drug baron. Uliza Tumut from Mombasa, awambie who Joe is before he even became a member of parliament. This guy has been selling drugs, cocaine, what have you, to the residents of Mombasa. But somehow, anyway, now going forward, wacha tuingie kwa mikutano yake, we infiltrate his meetings. Why? I'm saying this because we are educated. We know where we know what he can do. Listen, Ruto cannot defeat us. He handles people who are not educated. Ask me why I despise DCI and all those other people who work for him. Why? I I have high regard for people uh for lawyers. These are two different things. Lawyers, you have to excel in your high school exams. You have to have like at least a B plus or A minus or A plus or A plain to become a lawyer. But to become a DCI, you just need a D plus. See, I despise the DCI because they rely on the information that we give them here on X. So they are here today listening to what our next plan is. They do not have a clue of what is coming next. But lawyers, constitution is what binds them to us. Now, Ruto does not like the Gen Z movement. Why? Because we are educated, we know what is next, we know what they are planning, we know everything. We are educated. We know we have minerals in Kenya. Why the fact we have minerals in Kenya? We have oil, we have gold, we have titanium, we have all the minerals that make it possible for anybody to run any mobile company business. We did not, most people did not know this until we started this movement less than a month ago. So Raila had to rush in and bargain the power. That's why he's been given the treasury and the minerals. But Ruto is going to be the top guy. Listen, Joho is not going to know everything. Ruto knows everything what's going on. He's going to block he's going to tell those guys. If Joho asks for any whatever explanations, tell them you cannot disclose. But I am Kissy. Unsando is a Kissy name. And what?
Okay, wind up.
Yes, I will.
Start winding
Yeah,
up.
yes, I will. But you have to listen to this. Nyachai, before his death, he used to say that the only way you can get me out of parliament is through the casket. But we disapproved him. He used to make Kissy people his business, and we were wrong. We defied his narrative, and we kicked him out before he even died. So what I'm saying is, we have the power. We can do whatever we want. We need to start going out on Sundays. Why? Because Sundays is the day where Ruto goes to church and he kneels and he gets blessings and he confuses our parents, gets blessings and he goes back to the streets again and he starts to spread his propaganda. I agree with there is a girl, Cigarette, who said, "We need how is Ruto going to beat us in propaganda? We need to start spreading out propaganda about him to our parents and our peers in the rural areas. This guy is trying. There is no reason why he's building affordable housing locations where people do not."
Okay, boss, umemaliza?
Okay, just 1 minute. I
Wind up.
will. I am going up right
Okay.
now. We need
Okay.
to start beating him in his own game. Let us know where he's going to be next. Let us get 50 people and they can raise their banners and say Ruto out and reason so why were we doing that, so people can understand like this thing is alive. We won today because the CBD was closed down. There was no business going on. And I think tomorrow we still need to go out, but Sundays we need to switch from Tuesdays and Wednesdays to Sundays.
Okay, thank you so
Thanks
much.
KOT and Carl. Yeah, thanks for Culture Kenya Media. Thanks. Alan.
Wanjiro, Githiomi. Yes, Wanjiro, go ahead. Wanjiro, are you there? Okay, I can't hear her. Chege. Chege, you there? Chege, yuko JM uko hapo? JM? Hey, JM ayuko. Didi.
JM nikani listener.
Oh, okay. And Didi, you're there? Okay. Didi ayuko hapo. All right. I guess I can say something.
Watu wainue mkono.
And anaambia
Wanakataa
kusikia.
Wanjiro is here.
I've been
Wanjiro is
asking
always
for
away.
Wanjiro. Yuko wapi? Wanjiro uko?
Niko hapa.
Wanjiro won't come here and sleep.
Tuambie, but
too many years
before
of
I say that,
Hi, Wanjiro.
Hi.
Okay.
Welcome. Speak to us.
Unanisikia?
Go ahead, Wanjiro. Wacha ni mute. Let me mute myself.
Unanisikia?
Yeah, we hear you.
Kusikia vizuri sana.
As you know, this is my favorite night space when I'm working at night.
Don't work too hard.
I have to pay bills. Niko Diaspora.
Hey,
guys. What a day. You know that a war is a series of battles, right? When you go to university, see, it's a degree of 4 years. So me, when I went to law school, first year, Dean's Merit List. Second year, Dean's Merit List. Third year, Nikadunda. It's like I never went to school. Out of 5 subjects, I failed 3. It's like I was not there. Alafu, you just recover. You do it again, and then you do it from experience. When you finish that degree, when you get it, Yani, it is awesome. That is called the war, right? That is how I look at every single battle. So, reject finance bill, that was Dean's Merit List. Number 1, summa cum laude, right? Then you did a series of others. And then you guys went to that, was it Uhuru Park? Another summa cum laude. So, you guys have been on such a high. So when this happened and it looked like a bit of a deflation, it was not a loss. It was not a failure. It was just that it can't always be a high. And that is called life, right? And I think for me, it is always an opportunity to learn. There was something that needed to be learned here, because as you're going, also your enemy started learning a few things as well. You could no longer catch them by surprise. And that's what happened. So what were my observations today? Unfortunately, I was in court at some point, and then there was not much coverage. So nilikuwa na Wakenya, nilikuwa naangalia kidogo kidogo. One of the things I observed is that you could not assemble. You had no chance to even sit, and I'm looking at strategies of war and battles. Those guys did not give you a chance to even sit together for 5 minutes. They had been given instructions. Vuruga hawa watu. Kabisa. Now, when
we can barely hear you. I think you're muffled.
Can you hear? Am I audible at
Yeah,
all?
yes, you are audible.
Yes, sir.
He's
I
interrupting
can
you
hear.
rudely.
I can hear clearly.
Okay. All right. So can I proceed?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Yes, please.
So what I saw in this art of war that was being played today was the art of kuvurugana. So you were not even able to assemble, so you could not form a group, right? And I could remember during when I was growing up, I remember more used to use those tactics. It was called, they could not even let our parents sit in groups of 5. And that's how we learned how to assemble even at home. And at some point, I remember there were times that even the police used to come home and they would say no parties even at home because you were just because the minute 5 people are assembled, walikuwa wana plan. So you can see Ruto is Moi's child, which means he has learned how to suspend the constitutional right to assembly. That I can see, and this is the new art of war number 1. The other thing I noticed today is that you're being delegitimized. Another strategy of war. I could see that the people in the streets, the street vendors were being harassed. Walikuwa wanachapwa viboko. I never saw that before. This was a new one. I'm very observant when it comes to seeing things that are happening around me. They were being beaten so that you can be delegitimized, so that the business community can turn against you as the anarchists, so that they can become your enemies. That was very clear about what they were doing. The third thing that I realized today is that there was excessive use of force, And what I was curious about is yesterday, Secretary Z was in State House, and they had a big show about how they are supporting democracy, human rights, rights of assembly. And this time they came to State House. They actually came. They didn't call. Last time they made a phone call, but this time wakachukua ndege wakakuja State House. So I was curious, what was that move about? Yet today was the most ridiculous form of the use of force. I was very curious about what that move was all about. So with those couple of observations, I think it's important, and I'm not advising you. I'm just saying from a strategy perspective. I think it's about time that you regrouped and re-strategized, understanding that your strategy now being formless and having not having a sort of centers of command perhaps has outlived its usefulness for now. Because I'm also assuming that because of all the deaths and the intimidation, parents are not allowing their children to get out of the house. And people are afraid. He has basically managed to sell fear. And people do buy fear. Fact. It's a fact. So how do you do this? One strategy that you can do is to create centers of command. And you can't be doing this online. You can't be doing this on Spaces. So it's about time that you started meeting as people, as human beings, right? And you need to start now creating trust amongst yourselves. And how was that done during Umkhonto we Sizwe is the liberation struggle movement for South Africa. And when I came here when it was just coming out of apartheid. So you don't need one leader, but you do need centers of command that are working in groups, maybe of 100 people or 50 people with centers of command, and then you need to have one message. How it looks like, I don't know, but you do need to start meeting as people, and then you start creating structures around yourselves. Then you start trying to attack in groups. So maybe one day, a group of 100 people who you all know each other, and you can say, I know 50 people whom I trust. Coyote knows 50 people. On Sando or Chege, you know 50 people who you trust in groups. And then you say, today we're going to go and fling shit at the British Council, for example. Or you're going to do something crazy. Or you're going to, on Sunday, I heard somebody saying that Sunday is a very good day because there's no security in churches. You basically form groups, and every Sunday you go and create chaos, deplatform those people because there's no security. You just go 50 of you, 100 of you, wakianza kupiga kelele, munasimama, you go to the altar, you take the microphone, you make noise, and that happens in all counties so that it happens, but you guys organize yourselves either in person or you go into Telegram, but you know that you're working with groups of people. So that for me is what I was observing, and I wasn't on the ground, so I don't know what you guys saw. I'm just and please correct me if I'm wrong. So the other thing that I was thinking about is you guys are smart kids. You're smart. What about cyber terrorism? You're smart. You can get together as people with brains and bring down websites and hack stuff. I don't know. Do something to just frustrate the system and make it difficult for things to operate. I think you guys have the capacity to do that. The other thing, I've realized that obviously Ruto has absolutely no respect for the rule of law or the constitution. We've seen that. The way he's operating, there are so many cases cases have been said about the use of force, about how to work with protesters, not to use tear gas, not to do this, not to do that. But he's still doing it. So even come 2027, in as much as we know that there is 15 million, the youth vote is very rich. There's about 15 million of you. Even if 80% of you show up, you can just install a government on your own. But this is a person that probably will not even get out of power. We've seen that. So the pressure has to be sustained. And I know that I don't know whether you guys are ready to hear this, but I'm going to say it anyway. There is no point of having pressure without organizing yourselves in some form of movement that is organized, that has some sort of form where you can also start, bringing yourselves up into a political movement or some form of the other. The other thing is, somebody talked about civic education. It is so important, and I had somebody say earlier on that civic education, politics is local. It's true, it is local. My mom is a baby boomer. She's 78, she's 76, 77. And the only way I could get them to understand what was happening is to go and talk in their language. If you think about selling Coca-Cola, Coca-Cola is a drink. You sell it in America in a certain way. When you come to Kenya, you sell it with a different message. It is still the same Coca-Cola. When you sell Coca-Cola in Nairobi, it's not the same message that you use it to sell in Kiambu. So when I went to my mom and I told her about land rights, I know she's a Mkikuyu, Mogoda. I told her, Mom, if this happens, Mogoda is going to become lease and you start paying rent. And then you will become homeless. Eventually we lose our ancestral home. She was like, Atetea. And then I started talking about seeds and traditional seeds. I said, you will no longer be able to plant the seeds. You will not, it is going to be illegal. And she said, Atebego, that's the language they understand. So she went to her church. And those are the people who were lied into. I never supported Ruto. I was very clear from the very beginning. I was clear that Aleppo does not change its spot. I was anti-Ruto completely. And they're the ones who had supported Ruto. So she went back to her church and said, this man is a monster. He wants to take our land and they want us to stop planting seeds. That's the message they heard. So when we are doing civic education, take one message and just use the message that they hear. Don't try to tell them about decolonization. Don't try to tell them about, I don't know, World Bank and IMF and I don't know what all, different messages packaged for different people. And then it just cascades. And before you know it, even the community that is not understanding what the Gen Z, I call you guys the millennials because it's the Gen Zs and the millennials. Even those who don't understand what they're doing, all of a sudden they'll start saying, let's go. All of a sudden you will not need to convince them, and then you'll start having now a critical mass of movement. It's not a sprint, it's a marathon. It takes time. There's no revolution that is overnight. And I know it's a generation of instant gratification. You guys don't know how we used to write letters to our boyfriends, and you open it, you write it with a pen, you put perfume in it, alafu unaeka, and then you take a stamp, you lick it, you liquid, you stamp, lick it, alafu unaeka kwa post office, inaenda 1 month, inaenda month ingine, unangoja, inakuja, unafungua, You guys don't know that. You make boyfriends and girlfriends on WhatsApp. Alafu you break up on WhatsApp. You 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 you, you don't know how to go on a call box. Alafu nangojea mtu akupigie simu kwa call box. Hapo 20th century. That generation, you don't know that. So it's a world of now. So I understand. And I have 2 GenZs in my house. I've got 21-year-old girls at University of Cape Town. I get it. I get it. In fact, these days they tell me am I cheating on them with young people? Because I sound like, they're like, where did you get that word from? I'm like, I heard it on Spaces. So just be kind to yourselves. Be kind to yourselves. I'm seeing such negativity online, guys. It's a marathon. You've done so much. You've achieved you've spooked a president. You've grounded a president. I've just seen that even the livestock bill has been withdrawn by Ishumwa just now on thingy. It's been withdrawn. So you're not seeing the things that you guys, the agitation that you are doing because of just irritation. You're annoying and keep being annoying. But keep doing it in centers of groups, centers of command, and then don't put all your bullshit on TikTok and here. You gotta get ahead of yourselves. Get ahead of the game. Thank you guys for listening to me. I'm still your champion. I'm the silent majority. I'm always listening and I'm cheering for you. Well done, guys. Keep going. Thank you.
That was good. I like that, the idea of 50-50 people. You're laughing.
Go ahead. Go ahead. No, it wasn't me laughing.
No. I like the idea of the small groups. It's almost very guerrilla war-like.
Yes.
And then 50 people, you go to the Nyayo house, and then another 50 people, and then you all eventually will group together, and you all trust each other. So that works. I like that idea. You really have very, very good ideas. So I like
And
that.
then there are no cops. There is no danger.
Exactly. So your idea, 50 people, that is almost like nyumba kumi, like you get your 50 people, leo tunaenda tu na placards to the Nyayo house. Other people might join you. You might, then you text, and then other groups, and then you do like that slowly you can form an organic movement. Because I don't think Ruto will, if we leave Ruto here, Ruto will rig the next election.
Yes, he will.
I'm telling you.
Yeah.
He will. And he will stay. And then the next 5 years, he will have nothing to lose. So he'll not be going to beg and telling you guys, I'm doing this. He'll be like, it's my last 5 years. Now I'm literally finishing you people.
Yeah, and then even when you go, please create a nuisance. Create a nuisance that's not a crime, but just be totally annoying. So not just placards.
Yes,
Find out, what is it? Mtamwaga mchanga, or will you bring something? You just do something.
Yes. That's a very good idea.
Yeah,
So
be disruptive.
let me go to
Wajuru, now that we have you and you're a legal mind, in terms of these Subaru boys and the masked guys, what's your advice about dealing with them in a legally acceptable way, but proper activism from the populace? Because we've had discussions, and it's so annoying to see these videos that people are posting saying so and so has been picked, and you're looking around and saying, yani munaacha tu mtu anaenda. What are your thoughts, and how do people ensure that they protect themselves? Things like, of course, recording helps. The lawyers have have evidence. But making sure that, for example, there was people who were saying stone those guys, and I was like, dude, the guy has a gun. You start stoning the person without first raising an alarm and creating a crowd, he's going to shoot you. and you'll die. And even if you're even 5 or 6, if he has 6 bullets, 6 of you are dead. Even if you kill him, he still has killed 6. So what are some of your thoughts and advice on how to do things, to stop these guys in a legal way?
Shege, you're dealing with somebody who has absolutely no respect for the rule of law or the Constitution. That's my answer to you. Because remember, what they're doing is illegal. So you can go and you can go and get a restraining order, but they won't respect it. There's already a court judgment against the use of tear gas and about respecting the right of assembly and peaceful protest. They don't respect
and
it.
We saw it today. Tear gas
And we saw it today. Hata America walikuja jana wakaenda State House. Wakamwambia boss, si ndio tufanye hivi. Even the media, he's muzzled the media. So Shege, there is no answer for you. There is absolutely no answer for you, because the courts can only, the court process. The courts cannot arrest. You see, when the police is the one that has got the powers to arrest. So when you ignore a court order, the execution powers are in the police, but the police are the ones who are arresting you. Are you seeing the catch-22?
Yeah, exactly. The perpetrator is the one who is supposed to arrest himself.
Exactly. It's an organ of state.
So therefore, hence,
you're living in a dictatorship. Mutaendelea, continue being annoying and being tactical
about
about it.
Coffee, eh? Wake up and smell the coffee, guys.
Yeah, Ruto is your president.
And a lot of people voted for him, and I was really, really against. When this guy was elected, I was like, it's over. Because me, I remember... hakuna kugaslight. Mi nakumbuka grandmother yangu akipiga kelele. Because she lived through the Moi era. So she was like, what have we done? But me, I already knew that it was going to be hell. But Odinga would not have been much better, because if you really think about it, the people Odinga would have elected in those positions are now in power. Let's see what they'll do, but there's really nothing watafanya itakuwa ya maana. So when you are Kora, these people hijack. In your Kora too, they have they in civilian clothes, they have guns. There's no law that these guys they are following. So there's no way to handle, unless you're really a big group of people.
May I make one comment? There? I'm sorry I don't want to hog the space. I'll mute myself very quickly. Let me make a comment about this. You realize that the system that we have came from 1963. Okay, so it just got carried on. Even Uhuru was not any better. The only thing that happened is that Ruto alikuja akakanyaga mafuta and took us. So we've been like a frog in a pot that has been hitting pole. So we've not really been feeling the heat as such. Ruto akakuja akaweka kibiriti, we felt hot too quickly. And perhaps it's a blessing in disguise, because we needed to be woken up from the slumber we have been in for the last 50 plus, I don't know how many years. Perhaps we needed this person to come and wake us up from this sleep we have been in before it was too late. Because perhaps even if we got Raila, we would have probably been another boiling frog for just a little bit longer, and it would have basically taken us too long. By the time we would have taken another 20 years to keep boiling, it would have been too late. Maybe this is what we needed to get us up. So I'm the kind of person who lives in this world. Everything happens for a reason. And we will never go back where we are again. So let's not gaslight people. Let us say, whatever we chose them because this is where God wanted us to be here. We needed to wake up. And we needed to wake up with your generation that were ready to do what you're ready to do, because our generation could not do it. We couldn't. So it's you soldiers. It happened now. So guys, this is it. This is it. Thank you. I yield.
Thank you.
Fantastic. Hey, Culture, pick the next speaker.
Sema. Ati?
Pick the next speaker.
The next speaker is Shay. But before Shay goes, nilikuwa nataka kusema nini nimesahau. I just wanted to say really quickly, Sub-Saharan Africa, forget about the Arab countries up there on top of the African map. Kuna kitu, there is something wrong with us Africans, black people, because we're the only ones who sell each other out a lot. That's why there's never been a revolution in Sub-Saharan Africa. Revolution hufanyika uko kwingine kwote. But us, it's like I see people happy that today failed. But this system is not favoring you. Mbadi Odinga kujagi kwa nyumba yako. So you are like, why are you happy? Because the next day you'll be protesting about something you're passionate about and you don't want to be beaten by the police. So there's something wrong. Ndio uonagi Sub-Saharan Africa, apart from Senegal, na ndio watu walikuwa were so surprised with Kenya because we seemed to went to parliament. It's like watu wafikiri that would ever happen. And that's why you are seeing so many people ready to sell us out, take money, $500 of to be honest with you, maybe if I was hungry, ningetake you $500 and say, "Ituni," because I'm starving. But deep down, I'm supporting the movement, bana. But you see, these people really, they are government bloggers, but they really believe in what they are doing. Unaweza fikiri government blogger anaweza kupull aside akwambie, hey, you know what? Me, I wanted to eat this money, but manze, you guys do what you're doing. I'm behind you. But these people actually are mocking us. Nandio, sometimes I say, no wonder us Africans were enslaved. It was so easy because it was so easy to give up on each other. Now, me is history. I got so interested in slave trade that I went to Zanzibar. Nani wa Arabu. It's the Arab people who enslaved Africans. But when you go to Zanzibar, there's something I noticed. Nilingia hizo madanjan. You know, before you are taken to sea, you get into those hizo madanjan, alafu ship iko hapo, unaingia, unapelekwa. 2 minutes, I was sweating. How did these people get in here now? I can survive. How? Because me, I'm sweating nataka kutoa shati. And then when you go around Zanzibar, there is a lot of, I call it nikama whitewashing. They try to present the Mzungu as a savior, friend of the slaves. This is the Mzungu who rose up and said, this is wrong. I'm like, sasa unataka kuniambia the same person who enslaved these people is also the savior. But badala museme, these people were wrong. So kuna kitu, Sub-Saharan Africa, we are so quick to sell each other out. We are so quick to, sisi ni wasaliti sana, sisi wa Afrika. Because we had an opportunity, and that opportunity was taken by big influencers to intimidate people and do whatever that we gave up. That was a big opportunity that came. I mean, because I've started like trying to really understand the psyche, because ukiangalia watu wana support government, they're not that comfortable. Some of them will go and want to get an ID, they can't get an ID. Some of these people, their uncle will be killed by a police officer somewhere. He can't get justice. So why are you happy? You live in a it's not like you're rich. You live in a dictatorship. You're going through the same things we are going through, and you're happy. Anyway, let me stop ranting. I will let who's next? I think he's fallen off. Hakuna mtu mwingine.
Halo, unaweza ongea
I'm here.
kiasi?
Yeah, can I?
Go ahead, and mute. Go
Do
ahead.
you want me go for like a minute and you guys can proceed? A quick one. I know it's been a lot of challenges in network here, but great submissions. I'll begin. Mine will be like just 3-4 points that can be made in 2 minutes. One, I think I want to borrow from what one person talked about earlier. I think that was Ivy before we were dropped in the first space. She did mention something that I wrote down that I think it has to come to a time where we have to say that, I think Kenya is closed for innovations. That statement really caught me in a very strong way, that we have to get to a point where we are like, guys, everybody, you need to know that we are closed. We are going through some renovations. We'll let you know when we are open. Because right now, everything that is going on in the country is really going in a direction that we definitely have to rethink of which way to go. That really brings me to today's, well, to some people it's yesterday, is Mandamano and how the things went. I'll just make just 2 quick highlights that really caught my attention. When the CNN highlighted the way, the police were really just live on camera shooting at, and I'm sure most of you saw that, so I don't have to repeat it. When Larry Madogo was like really on the phone with Wolf Blitzer, who is in Tel Aviv right now covering what's going on in the Middle East, and he was hosting a show, and Larry was like, they're shooting at me, they're aiming at me, they're doing this right direct at me. I could hear that noise, and I could see the guys on the other side of the television a little scared. And at some point, Wolf was like, "Larry, are you okay?" And then it's like he got afraid that this guy is gonna be shot right on camera, and then turned around and said, "Okay, we are glad Larry's okay." And then they did a quick reporting, and I'm sure you see that. I think he did post that. That kind of highlight is probably one of the areas of success that I want to bring about in terms of this movement. It's bringing this into the international community in a way that it's being highlighted, but also to the extent that even the you saw that one of the secretaries, they call them under secretary. I have no idea what that means. Did mention that and issue a statement when she went to the State House, and that was prior to the Nane, telling them that about human rights violations, do not use excessive force and stuff like that. That kind of a highlight, it is pressure by itself. Reason is, and I think I've spoken about this probably throughout the day, reason is Ruto has touted himself as one person that is internationally respected, number one. And number two, he has taken pride that he's the one who has put Kenya on the global map. He has actually used those exact phrases when he did the interview with the journalist, after the June 25th. And you could see what kind of pride he's taking, that he's an international figure, somebody who has brought Kenya into the international field. So he feels like he needs to is a person who is more interested in the global image. And that is one of the pressure points that I want to introduce in terms of strategy. And I was try to read exactly how can we capitalize on that, utilize it to the advantage of the movement. And I did read a little bit about how can we present a petition to some of the embassies that we have in Kenya, or even we can do it overseas, but I think literally going to the embassies in Kenya, whether it's a US embassy in Kenya, and request formally to make a formal petition or presentation. And I think there's a procedure that they've outlined on how you need to do that. What that means is that it puts pressure on him, because I know many other things that I wanted to highlight. People have talked about them. I don't want to repeat them, but I want to dwell on that issue of putting pressure from the international perspective. That is going to bring to the realization that his nakedness has been exposed. Because the moment the king knows that he's naked, whether it's through the prophets or through the people, because there are only two ways that the king has to be told that he's naked. Either the prophet tells them or the people tell them, and the voice of the people is the voice of God. So if the people say that, wait a minute, now here is your exposure, you are not as covered as you think, and then the pressure starts coming from outside of us. They will see the true soldiers, our brothers and sisters who have died by being shot at. They will see real bodies. They will see real situations. We will have real stories about real people who are buried, real brothers and sisters, not imaginary. And that needs to be really be put very clear, because keep telling him to investigate and address the issue of the perpetrators of this whole movement, those people who have really been shooting at our brothers and sisters. He's not listening. We already know that. He has to hear a voice from outside. So the international community has to be brought into this movement and into this conversation. The second point to that, I think we have to get to a point where, at a point, we have to ask whether it's Meg Whitman or whatever. I mean, she's probably one of the biggest supporters of Ruto, and we have to get to a point of asking the Eurobond, the money you are giving us from IMF, where is that money going? Can't you, by any chance, hold somebody accountable? Because we are getting all these, loans and everything that we are being committed to, but friends, at some point, the IMF and the World Bank has to hold these people into the usage of what we are committing the country to. Otherwise, it will get to a point whereby we will say that we are not paying. We don't know where you took the money. And then we have to highlight the aspects of corruption where the money is being given and taken as loans on behalf of the Kenyan people, and that money is being squandered and being taken by individuals to be used. Those are some of our grievances, and we just want it to be highlighted. What he does with that information, we will see. But we are trying to look at where the pressure is. The third point, and probably the last one that I want to highlight, because I probably had a few others which have already been addressed, like the boycotting, their products, and that I don't labor that point. And then, of course, I'd also had the issue of trying to think of like how KOT and every other friends you can come to have like a mega rally. I'm talking about online, like what we are doing as in an X space. Mobilize some of your close friends who are having this and say, let's take one day to have 1 million people in this X space. Let's have 1 million people in the X space. Ruto is very afraid if something is trending about him and something is online, and they are not going to shoot at you when you are online. So we have to use multifaceted approaches to put pressure on this guy. Yes, we have good ideas of going to the street, and they have tried to master the art and trying to move in that direction. But we have to get to a point whereby we also highlight these things in a very organized way, in a very structured way, but also in a way of putting pressure and putting it on the map that we are not doing well as a nation. And here are 1 million people online talking about what is wrong with the country. It will get to his nerves really bad, because he's one of those people who actually thinks that he's the only one who is digital and all of us are analog. Let me tell you the third pressure point that I think we need to employ. Ruto knows who sanitizes him. It's the religious community, the churches. We need to really take this aspect of putting pressure on the religious groups and the pastors and everybody very serious, to the extent that we have to give an ultimatums to some of our pastors that we have to choose politicians or choose us. So it has to come to be like, it's either we worship through the same altar, in the same altar where we kneel, or you bring the politicians to do it. So we have to make a choice, because if they are not going to be part of this revolution, which I'm a firm believer that revolutions begin from the most of the revolutions have actually begun from the pulpit. If they're not going to be part of this revolution and this movement, then it has to get to a point of either taking that brown envelope, or I don't think you're going to go to hell by not going to that church or not going to give tithe and offering in that church. I'm sorry, I have to tell you that. Because it has to come to a time that we have to live for something. We have to do something. It cannot be business as usual. So we have to know, where does Ruto run to when the pressure is too much? He goes to call a few pastors, he calls them, they do a prayer, and then what does he do? Every Sunday or whatever it is, kneels down, raises his hand, sheds a few tears, and you know what happens? Oh, we forgive him, he's the man of God. Because the wife is a very prayerful person. And then we get to a point of saying, oh, they regard his wife is a pastor. Now, we get so entangled and confused about all these things, but we miss the mark about the corruption and the real atrocities that are being meted on our people. I'll land by saying this. We have to start thinking of other strategies that are going to be included in the protest and everything, and they can be in all rounded. They do not have to be, the other one doesn't have to be stopped for this one to continue. But the ones of the international community, I'm telling you, I have seen that in the last few weeks or so, even coming to the Nane, the international community was very concerned about what they have been doing to our people. And now that pressure needs to be completely applied even more, so that we can show how they were beating people who were actually watu wako kwa duka yao wanauza, and then these guys come with rumbu and they're beating them up to tell them to close. Why? And then we are talking about having a country. So KOT Chege culture, Kenya, let me say this. We have to have practical steps that we are going to take moving forward that are going to help us to really achieve what we are going we really set up to achieve. So God bless you. Thank you so much. It's a very lovely conversation, and I know soon and very soon we are going to achieve what we set our eyes to achieve. God bless. Thanks.
Thank you so much for that contribution. And who's next? Anybody else? Mtu yote anataka kuongea?
Culture
I
naweza
think
ongea dakika mbili.
culture.
Sawa sawa, hataongea dakika tatu.
Haya, sawa.
Culture, can you hear me?
Real Joe, acha nibonge
Hataongea
kiasi
dakika
alafu
nne.
utakaa.
Before ongea, acha
Hataongea dakika nne, nitakupatia basi.
maybe I think culture you need to do this. I don't know whether you're seeing, but there are hands that have been up
Endelea.
hapa. Nimeona David alikuwa up, niliona Grace, hata sahii niko amedrop. Nimeona
Did she
Kimere.
disappear? What happened to her?
Yeah?
Are you there?
I'm here.
Okay, go ahead. Talk. Tafadhali.
So is it okay if I go ahead?
Yes, please go
Joki
ahead. I'm waiting
naongea
for you.
kwanza. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so I'm letting you talk. So I'll mute the mic and then I'll give you the mic. Is that okay?
So would it be me or I had someone saying that they were going to talk?
No, it was me telling you go
Okay.
ahead. Endelea.
All right.
Minda mute. Sawa
Yeah.
sawa.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay.
So I was going to echo the same message or close to the same message yenye the person before me ame echo. Ruto does not care about how Kenyans think or feel about him because he has you all under control, as you can see by today. Yes, we are very vocal tukikuwa online. Mbaka mumuhit where it hurts. And I think I've suggested it before. Hii story ya kwenda kwa embassies, we're not going to go there to ask them for help, but we want the world to put pressure on him too. Because guess what? Uki become their problem, all of a sudden, they need to solve the problem. Mkienda hizo embassies, let them come, venye wana behave wakitia gas, let them come and tear gas. Especially the best one, I would suggest, ni the Russian embassy. Let them come and tear gas you there. Because they're already in bed with the American embassy and other Western countries. But bring the problem to their door. Let the world see you as you are. Let him be seen as the monster he is. Let him be seen by other nations that he does not respect democracy. That is where you will truly find change. Hit him where it hurts. It needs to be non-stop because anytime you take a break, he regroups, he comes even harder. And then kwenye anakea about. Anataka kuonesha the world he has everything under control. Show the world ana anything under control. Ata today, let me tell you, that thing about CNN with Larry, trust, I have had friends, people who don't even care, call me to see, did you see what's happening in your country? Let me tell you, that is where the pressure is going to come. When the rest of the world is truly sitting there and watching, when you're getting handled, when muki, let's say even like let journalists, there was also another image, I don't know which journalist it was, where she was on her knees, that has spoken so much volume, you guys don't even understand. And this is what is not being shown by Kenyan media. Endeni uko kwa hizo embassies. Trust and believe. Let them behave like animals the way wana behave. Secondly, if kama mtenda CBD, there's no point of going if you're not going to fight back. Because you've seen the way they're handling you when you show up at CBD. At this point, it's no longer democracy. It's no longer business as usual. Let us hit them where it hurts. Those police, they want to come and fight for him. You know what? We have no respect. When somebody is putting you on your knees and killing your brothers, your sisters, and we're supposed to still respect you because we respect the rule of law, what law is there? Law yenye wanaweza hata piga, like even lawyers? I don't know if you guys saw the, I think it's Wanjiro Stevens. Wamemchapa, wamemwarrest. So I can only truly imagine what's happening on the ground with you guys. And I know the way, let's say, some people wanaweza kufeel that to feel the pain. Most of us, tunai feel that same pain. Whether is our family members, tunawalipia, wanaenda, wana show up this protest, and you sit awake all day wondering if they're okay. Even us, even though we are not on the ground, we are feeling the pain and hopelessness and almost like, I don't know if it's a survivor guilt, because then, you know what, I can say, I can sit here on my computer behind a screen and be cheering you on and telling you, you guys go do this. But this strategy that is like showing up downtown every time and going to CBD, it's not working right now. Unless you're going to fight back, either we regroup, but no, every time you regroup, either you're coming back 10 times or 30 times stronger because he's coming back stronger. No, note, the CS wamekuwa sworn in. I don't know if you guys are aware, Kindiki really wanted to change even the rules of how people are supposed to gather to protest. I lived during Moi era. This is why I'm not in the country. Trust me, you could not meet more than 5 people because the walls had ears and they were coming to find you. And that is where we are going back. And that's where he learned by play. Of how to deal with Kenyans. Kenyans can be sold fear. Because even people who wanted to come out, by the time they saw the roadblocks and they would have had to walk into town, what did they do? They turned around. Kenya has been ruled by so much fear. There's so much fear with everybody else. Go to those embassies. Let them see you being beat up. Ask for asylum. You become their problem. The moment you, because even them, even Sisi Tukoku, they don't want us here unless we're doing something to help their country. So go there as their problem. Because if you get an asylum anywhere, they have to make sure they educate you. They have to make sure they put you in the workforce so you can start paying taxes like everybody else. So they don't want you as a problem. Make them know what is happening. Watch our waone. And I will pass on to the next person.
Joy, I will yield the mic to you. Karibu Joy.
Hey, culture anaweza bonga before akuje, the one who's supposed to come.
Karibu.
So
Ongea.
chenye ningetaka kusema manzi, chenye Wanjiru alisema, it really makes sense about like we have to like strategize tuanze kujipanga in small community. Unaona kama ile guerrilla warfare hii tuko war na hiyo ndio kila kitu wasi wanafaa as in I don't know how long it will take for people to like wake up and realize and be woke. Hapa ni vita. Ruto hata achia vitu ziende tu hivyo hivyo, hakuna vile tutatua president hivyo hivyo ati sijui ati tunakuja tuko peace na firimbi. Tumefanya ile impact tulikuwa tunanid kufanya kama as in sisi wote pamoja, but so it's right now we have to realize we are on another level. Now they are doing everything to fight back. Mpaka you've all seen how they are fighting like journalists and everything. What makes us think that we will come again alafu tu watatuachia tu hivyo ati we take over? It's now war, and that's something that needs to click on everybody's mind. And it's like somehow right now I feel like we are still talking the same way we were talking before this day. This was the big day. Was the day that we were supposed to change everything. Haijawaka haiku go through, na mbona tunaongea ni kama bado ni hii siku ijafika. Unajua, so like let's come back to reality. Let's wake up. We have to come back and natukuje na plan mpya. Plan has to change. Na nimependa venye Wanjiru amesema like let's start working in small groups. Kila mtu anajua hapa hivi, kwa hata hapa watu wengine wamejoin hizi space. Kama mimi nimejoin hii space kwa sababu ya hii story. Sikukuanga kwa Twitter, nimejoin hii story. So kuna venye ninaweza jua huyu msee na huyu msee huko umekuanga uko na community una follow. Kuna venye unajua wase wenye wako for it na watu wako real. Tuanze ku make small communities, tuanze ku communicate, tujipange juu hapa at the end of the day hawa wase The police and these people are still here. They're listening to us. They're listening to every plan. If you guys have not noticed, pia leo kulikuwa na so many female police walikuwa kwa ground, na ni kwa sababu last time pia tukiongea kwa hizi vitu watu wanasema madem pia wajitokeze, madem wanaweza kwa frontline. These guys are taking the same shit you are talking about and using them on their side. Kila kitu tunaongea wanasikiza, ndio wanatumia against us. So it will be so stupid that we are still making plans here na wanatusikiza na wako hapa katikati yetu. We have to strategize. Lazima we start making groups kidogo kidogo juu tukumbuke hii ni war. Hii ni kama time ya maumau na tukue back to reality. Tuache kujifanya fanya hapa, not going to the main point. Main point tuko war. Main point tutauliwa. Main point tutahantiwa. Every individual separate. Let's get back to reality. Leo mume wanafanya wanapiga wase mpaka watu wa media ma huko. Yani they don't have chills because wako na masks zinawaficha uso. Alafu wana treat watu wenye wanafight nchi yetu ni kama like bullshit, like ni kama masafaras. And then we are sitting here and talking big. We have to think deep. Let's tuache kudo the talk only. Tuache hiyo manzi. Let's like strategize. We are the modern freedom fighters. Tuko lucky, tuko na hii social media. Acha tuache kukua shallow. We have to get deep. We have to know mtu anajua. Kama unakwanga tu hapa kwa hizi group unajua mtu mgani unaweza follow, tujue ni gani na nani na nini na nini na nini. Na kuna pia ma channels zenye tunaweza si space kuna nini channels zingine tunaweza kwa tunaongea na hakuna mtu atatrakiwa na tutakuwa tunajuana na venye tunajuana, lakini we cannot continue also being so deep na giving all information hapa na mafala wote wanatusikiza au polisi wanachukua everything tunasema against us. Na we have to be, unaona, acha niwaambie kwanza yenye tumepewa blueprint. Unaona movie ya Wakanda, it's a blueprint. Kuna wase wako kwa tech, kuna wase wako kwa lab, kuna wase wako kwa ground mafighter, kuna ma warriors. Wakanda ni East Africa. So, lazima tuanze kujieka hivyo kila pahali. Sisi wote ni mafighter. Ikifika ni kufight una fight. Ikifika ni penye huko penye unaweza. Kama uyuko Kenya penye unaweza kwa internet ama anywhere, we ni fighter hapo. Kama uko Kenya kwa ground penye unaweza ama wherever you are, we ni fighter hapo. Tuna fight for Kenya. Na sisi tuliweka huyu fala kwa ground na sisi ndio tunamtoa, na Kenya ni home. So let's not just talk hapa. Hata kama uko kwa ground na unajua unaweza fanya kitu, let's do it manzi. So let's strategize. Na mafala tuko mbele yao wanachukua system zetu kutunini. Thank you.
Culture, can I speak?
And I'm done. Poleni, thank you.
I was just clapping for you.
No, Culture wanted to tell us that he has an iPhone. That's it. We know you.
No, I swear, I'm
just kidding.
I
by the
swear,
way. I'm just joking.
I'm like, I'm just trying these things out. I'm like, Connie, I can clap. Okay. So no, I'm not trying to show off or anything. Tunakusikia vizuri sana mami.
I think you said the real joke to go, and then I can see so many hands up. And Culture, at some point, if you like have some actionable points, for example, Wanjiro is here, a lawyer of with knowledge of Kenya and internationally. She can draft for us a petition that we are going to present. We organize a few people and sponsor them to go, and of course we follow the formal channels of going which embassy we're going to present. And we have like even if it's 200 people, we make a presentation of that formal petition following the right channels, and we make a strong point without being tear gassed. I'm just saying. I mean, like really action points. That's what I'm saying.
Can I speak? Hello?
Yes, you can speak.
Can I speak?
Go ahead.
I'm happy to do that. I can draft Wanjiro. Hello? Can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead. We can hear you.
I'm happy to draft a petition Okay, I'm happy, and I like who was the one who actually introduced the idea of the embassies. It was it? He's in good
Some little
governance.
boy,
I
some little
followed
boy
him.
from Kayole by the name JM from Kayole.
JM. I followed you. I followed you. Stand for good governance. I followed you. Please inbox me your number. I like your idea. I'm going to draft a petition, and please just inbox me your telephone number, and I will get in touch with you tomorrow. I love that idea very much. Number one. What the other thing I wanted to also say is that we need to have action points before I go to sleep, because it's approaching 3 and I need to be in an arbitration tomorrow morning. I would like to challenge KOT, Shege, the guys in this platform. You made also another point of having mega impact. I need you guys to get together all the influencers, all of you on space, because mnajuana. We need to have one big mega group, and we need to have plan a strategy, a 5-point strategy. Number one, we discussed deplatforming them in church. That is where he sanitized. And I like JM for echoing that, because I also say church is his number one place where he goes. He desecrated our churches. And that is where he also ascended to power. Tumshukishe kutoka kanisa. Every Sunday, across the churches, we deplatform politicians. And it must be gorilla. 50 youth every single Sunday wanaenda kanisa wanavuruga. The same way after we did the first ile inaitwaje finance bill must fall. That man was going to church undercover. Alikuwa anaenda kwa church za mabati. He was hiding for a long time. And nobody was going to church. We must sustain that pressure. So that is the first point. The second pressure point, I love that international community. Those, and then we are going to even have a design for placards with the dead people, gruesome names, everything. The third is the group of 50. So the group of 50, and make sure that it's organic across the country. So we make sure that we create this big space with all the influencers, and we share this strategy with everybody so that everybody can activate it. And then for that big space, JM, you were talking about, I was thinking, if we can reach out to Larry already has a lot of influence, a big space. We reach out to all the people with a big number of influencers. We bring in all the journalists they know. And then after that, we create a massive space and they invite everybody. And in that space, we actually discuss the state of Kenya. Because if it's championed like somebody like Larry and many other journalists, they're able to basically bring in, it's like networking. They bring in all the other journalists to invite all the, and we have this space that can even hold as many as 5 million people. So what am I saying in short? Step one, KOT, Shege, Kituri, all you guys who are here, Akina Ayo, get hold of all the influencers on space. Let us create one space. We share the 5-point strategy. 1, the platform. 2, pressure points. 3, working in groups of terrorism. When I say terrorism, those annoying groups across the country. Then we also share with them the plan of creating one big super space that JM suggested for everybody in the media. Then we are putting pressure everywhere. That was what I was suggesting, so that we can at least leave this space as what her name was saying. We live with a plan, a to-do plan. Complain, tumepigwa, sijui nini. There is a plan. There's a strategy when we're leaving this space. Thank you very much. I yield, and I will draft the petition.
Okay. Yes, I like the group of 50 plan. That's something that we can do. And yeah, and KOT and all these big influencers. Yeah, we need that big group. We all get together. Something I've noticed. Na sitaki cause drama. Like in any time Amerix does a group, Miguna is also like there's that. The Miguna's group is also on when Amerix is doing, and I'm always like, what's going on? Like every time. So we need to have an objective and all meet together, and then the group of 50 is something that worked very effectively with I remember when the American war with Afghanistan, and Afghanistan doesn't have a big army, and they were just doing a guerrilla war, and they really wore down the US Army. And we need to do your 50 people, them, and you go demonstrate somewhere, and 50 people. I think that's a genius move. Sometimes it looks very basic, but it's a very I think a smart move. And KD, I'll let KD speak.
JM, just sorry, can I speak? On any
KD,
culture?
you
Can I
there?
speak? Because my phone is almost going off.
Hello,
Culture, can I speak? My phone is almost dying.
KD is maybe asleep or something.
Culture, can you hear me?
Kimere, you there? Hello.
I think there's the real Joe is trying to get your attention. I don't think you can hear him. The real Joe.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's been trying to ask if he can speak before his phone dies. I think his hand has been off forever. Yeah.
Okay, and the lay.
Okay.
Hello, you there?
Yes, I'm here. If you can hear me, maybe you can just give me 100 so I know if you can. You guys can hear me.
I can't hear them. Can you hear them?
Yeah, I think you're the one who can't hear him. Maybe, unless you drop him and bring him back because you are the co-host, but we can hear him. You're the one who can't hear him.
Really?
Mhm.
Okay, so it's okay.
Okay, so
It's probably like
so basically, maybe what I wanted to say is, unfortunately, my phone is almost going off, but things that I think that we've discussed so much in this space, and this is something I had talked about before. I'm glad some of you have also echoed. I had actually the reason I took the mic is because Cigarette talked about this. Cigarette, not cigarette. Cigarette talked about this. Number one, and this is something that I have blamed it so much on not really to put a blame, but I've in previous spaces I've demanded that.
Okay, is he speaking? Because I've muted the mic. Anaongea?
Yeah, he is. Oh gosh, sorry.
Yes,
Culture, I
anaongea.
think you can't hear him. Anaongea, everybody's.
Anaongea, okay, so it's me. Okay, sawa, wacha ni mute.
Okay, thanks. Nitakwambia akimaliza.
So basically, in previous spaces, I actually demanded some responsibility from the guys who have been hosting the spaces. Why am I saying I demanded responsibility? Because people have been raising various fundamental issues. If you trace back, if you could play back maybe recordings from previous spaces, there are fundamental issues that have been raised by people from the spaces that I felt were not taken seriously. Number one, in a space last week, I talked about logistics, and I asked, what if we are cut off from accessing maybe CBD or accessing State House or wherever we want to go and picket? What is our plan B? We talked about that and discussed how we can try and find a plan B, but that was not actioned. Why? Because we come and discuss things in these spaces, and I take these spaces as our citizen assembly. Therefore, the host should act like our speaker and note down critical issues and critical points. And therefore, after the space, I asked and requested that maybe follow-ups can be done privately. Doesn't have to be done maybe publicly again in the spaces. That way, you can find a very serious and critical point that someone raised, and you can find out how to implement this. And that's one of the things that maybe is eating us up in these spaces, because I feel like some points are being raised. Wanjiro has raised some points, Secret raised some critical points, but I don't know whether these things we are going to action them. Having said that, let me continue. We have been doing some groundwork. Some people, we have been talking here on space, but maybe I came to realize last week that people are not taking responsibility. And therefore, me personally, I'm not a lawyer, I'm not in any politics. Actually, I'm in tech. I'm in tech. I run a startup, and I am based in Westlands. I come from Westlands. Like, I think yesterday we were not yesterday, because already from our Kenyan time we are on Friday. On Wednesday, this Wednesday now, our final baraza, because we always have the barazas in Kamkunji. Our final baraza on Wednesday evening. We had a very good baraza on Wednesday, by the way. And I'm happy that from that baraza, some of the people that we must persuaded, I'm happy they were on the ground today. They were on the ground yesterday picketing. This is very important. And this is something that we've run away from, the community that is always in the spaces. The community that is always in the spaces have never taken it upon themselves. It is only Casmuel, even the other Wednesday, Wednesday imepita, niliona Casmuel and the other guy from law school who was abducted. But I feel like, and Wanjiri has even talked about this, when we have that personal touch and start taking this citizen baraza seriously, that is one thing that we really need to employ. Because from this citizen baraza, people interact on personal levels. And by the way, this baraza kama hiyo ya Jivanji, if you follow up vizuri, utapata kuna petitions zingine tuliraisingi, and they have been taken seriously mpaka zimeenda East African Court of Justice. Do you know that there's a case against Kenya on East African Court of Justice raised by this from Jivanji, ikachukuliwa, ikakuwa picked, ikapelekwa mpaka East African Court of Justice because of the maandamano yenye tulikuwa nao last year. Unajua sisi tuliandamana last year because sisi tulikuwa tunafuata baba. Tuliandamana last year, people were killed. Those people were killed. There is a petition because this petition was tried to jaribu kusukuma hapa Kenya, it was not pushed well. From Jivanji ilipelekwa mpaka the East African Court of Justice. And now there's an active case against Kenya. That is very serious. That I would prefer. I'll get a copy of that and try and share with a few people who maybe you might be interested. But what am I trying to arrive at? I'm trying to arrive at more than one strategy. We need to deploy more than one strategy. If we are on X spaces, we are on X spaces. We also have other strategies. Are we also notable in other places? Are we always having a plan A, a plan B, and a plan C? Because today, what happened to us, we were cut off. Not today, but yesterday, we were cut off on logistics. At some point, only people who had private vehicles could maybe maneuver and somehow maybe try to ferry. But how many people can you ferry on a private vehicle? You cannot ferry so many people. So you were cut off on logistics, even though there were so many people who wanted to participate. And therefore, we need to be strategizing more on this. And the war that we need to also deploy right now is propaganda, as Sigrid had mentioned. We need to do it much better. You guys remember the election of 2017. If you guys can recall, there was a company called Cambridge Analytica. Cambridge Analytica really played a huge role in ensuring that, and you can remember, they themselves said that they made the name of Raila dirty and pointed him in a certain way. That's the information war we need to fight right now. We need to there's new technology.
Oh, I think check it. Do we lose the real Joe? No.
I think Joe umejimute.
Nilikuwa nimejimute.
Come on.
Okay.
So nilikuwa nasema Cambridge Analytica really played a huge role in 2017. We can deploy the same mechanisms ourselves. We can come up with propaganda videos and these things. Once imefikia ule mtu wa chini, unaona kama Sigrid was giving an example, Kisumu. Me actually, I don't know why I'm muting. The host is muting everybody.
No, it's just muting you, my brother.
No,
Just
it also happened to me. I have to say, like, also
I did.
I was
I
lost.
did.
I also went off. I don't know how that worked. Na ikarudi tena baadaye. So I think
So sorry about that. Maybe it's the network issues. But Chege, allow me to say something. I was thinking that the 3 points as maybe David comes in. I was looking at we have like maybe a solid action point call about the petition to the the embassies and international community, and which Wanjiro can take the lead on that. We have the issue of the the 5 million Mega X rally, which KOT, Chege, and Culture can take the lead on that. And then we have the issue of the
international community needs to hear our voice. What I am doing, I have connected with other youth political parties in Africa and Europe and in the UK. So people, what I'm doing, I'm circulating everything and I'm sharing our voices. Let's share our voice. Let all these documents fall somewhere. Yesterday, I was tracking the movement through social media and collecting all the data of everything that was happening, the police brutality to the people, to the journalists, to everyone. But you people speak. Let your voice come out there. Even those posters, I'm sharing everything. Give me documents that I can share with the international community, because these people, they are more networked than us. So they're the ones speaking. They're the ones telling the Undersecretary of State, this is what is happening in Kenya. She's going to State House. She's not coming to the streets. But us in the streets, we need to find modems of passing this information to get to their offices. I am in very high offices in terms of documentation. Please support me with what is going on the ground. I'm not on the ground.
Okay, thank you. So as you've heard, okay, as you've heard that, that's a good speech. Request that they come to Kelebe.
Bill, meet your mic.
Okay, so this somebody who just spoke previously. I wanted to comment comment on that. It's better, guys. At least when you're trying to post from the ground, try like you tag the hashtags of people like the Anton Blinken. Okay, the whole idea is that we want these guys to step down, but we also don't want the white the Americans to guide us, because we can make our own policies. Yeah, we would appreciate that we work with something like BRICS, but it's better that we implement our own policies, because there's so many smart guys in Kenya itself who can work on the technology sector, the energy sector. We can just utilize our own resources. So the idea is we want the other side to know that we don't want the leader they gave us. So that's the message. So that is we don't want Ruto. So the message is we want the UN, the IMF, and the United Nations to know that we don't want our leader to be our leader. So we want to take back our power, because it's sovereign, it's our right. And then we're going to make the decision as we constitute the IBC. We see who is going to represent us. It's very simple. We don't want if the other things are gonna come, like he's supposed to face a court of the ICJ or within Kenya, that's still okay. But for now, we request him to step down and let us focus and see what we're going to do next. Who is going to lead us next as we wait the constitution of the IBC. So
okay, excuse me. Let me request something. Those people who are tech savvy, if you can get me that recording of what he has just said, I will really appreciate. I'd really like to share that to all the platforms that I have. Thank you.
Thank you. So next, I'll give somebody. I want to give. We have to move quick, and then start. I want to go to X right now and see so many hashtags that entail whatever we have listed here. If we are together, hopefully we are working together, all of us. We can't expect the case, because it's not always the case. But let me just hope from at least a neutral point of view that we're working together and we have a similar enemy. It's not our enemy, but is okay. It's still our enemy. Is mistreating the Mwananchi, which is not okay, because Mwananchi is the owner of the country, as the word says itself. Wananchi, like it's very simple. We elect those guys to represent us, because not all of us can be leaders. Like not okay. The few people are are chosen, you see, so that they can lead. Not all of us can go to parliament. So you see, that's the idea. So, but then they're taking that on a different like view. Their perspective is now different. They're so powerful than us, but they've misunderstood. They have have misunderstanding of the whole thing. So I want to give somebody else a chance to speak. Flo Nyaga, take your time.
Hi guys. Mnanisikia?
Yeah, audible, yeah.
Okay. I would like to congratulate those guys who came out yesterday. I was one of them. Nilikuwa nimefika tao by 7:30. I was there, and it was a bit disappointing at the end of the day because people didn't come out as I expected. Personally, I got an injury on my leg, so I don't think I'll be able to come out today. But it's not a serious injury. Nitapaka tu deep hit and then I'll be okay. I'd like to support what Mzalendo has said. I think for today, as we go out, let's also be able to fight for the guys who were arrested yesterday. Because I saw KOT jana alijaribu kuraise pesa ya chakula, and then when walienda kwa police station, those guys walikata hao watu wakule food. That was very bad. Those guys are hungry hadi saa hizi. Hata hatujui kama wamekula breakfast or something. So I think maybe we can rally something and go hapo nje ya the police station where they are and shout until those lawyers who are coming to have released hadi watolewe. We can stay there, tukae hapo chini kwa police station, we shout, release our comrades as we continue with the journey of Ruto must go, because what he did yesterday was divide the media. He decided to hold the inauguration ya Masies jana, ndio all the live TV can go to that ceremony, so that all the live TV can go away from the maandamano and the horrible things they were doing to us yesterday town. So I really think that it would be a good idea if we went to police station hapo nje with those banners that Mzalendo has said is going to help us print. Tuende tuzichukue uko inda. We raise them up to camp hapo kwa police station nje, release our people. We can carry some food if wataitikia tuwapewa kule. We don't come out of that ground until those guys are released, because like you said, if they're not released today, hadi Monday. Can you imagine wakika uko hadi Monday, guys? And some of those kids come from Kakamega, others are from Kilifi, others are from in like far ends. They don't even know anyone here probably. They are scared. Maybe they're not even allowed to access their phones. Let's guys do that, because if we do not fight for them, people will start being afraid when they go out on the streets, they get arrested, afu wanaachiliwa hivyo. Like, let's fight for each other as we continue to fight for the country. That is my name. Nimemaliza.
Thank you. So umesema wako police station gani, most of them? Ama kama unaweza sema, na kama kuna msee mwenye ako hapa hivi, kindly communicate na KOT, hata na mimi, just say those guys have been arrested, na tunge appreciate sana kama kuna mtu
Okay, I was thinking, I don't know, I was thinking there was a list that KOT had jana, sindio? And maybe we can try and amongst ourselves we can try and see, maybe go to other police station tuone kama kuna watu wengine, cause we don't really know each other in a personal basis, but maybe kuna wengine walipelekwa different police stations. Maybe we can try and come up with a group which would be responsible for finding out all those things as we continue protesting for their release. Yeah.
Thank you. Maybe we can go to maybe common police station in town, maybe like Kamkunji, because I saw somebody tweet about Kamkunji and maybe other one was Central. Tuangalie, but lazima pia tutayas na manini na some good lawyers. We know what they are arrested for. You know, all of them they're not going to be arrested for the same case. So we just read the OB. We know how we're going to deal with that, and then let's choose to speak less when we're going to it's okay to approach them from a lawyer perspective. That's why we have to have lawyers, so that we know what we have to say and what we don't have to say, to avoid any confliction of ideas. Yeah, so next I'll give another guy a chance.
Excuse me, Data. Yesterday I had Ndego from another space saying that today he'll be shughulikiaing all those people, especially the list that was released by Caswell. Maybe if we have contact Ndegwanjiro, we can be able to communicate with him because he probably knows this process properly. He can be able to advise us on.
Yeah, that's okay. So, Joy, if you have the contact of this guy, is it possible you share that because we need to have we have to be like one person. So then it's possible to counter the enemy. So if you have these contacts that those guys are requesting, anybody who has the contacts, unafaa kuzikuwa umeziweka hata hapo hivi kwa chat. Umesema these are the contacts should be sharing. I know this guy alikuwa arrested, ako this police station, ameshanipia phone call, so itakuwa easy ku counter for those guys wenye walikuwa actively ukijaribu kutu free from the fugitive. So itakuwa easy that way. Hatuwezi juana si wote, but itakuwa better kama we follow each other when you're posting these things. Just make sure that because it doesn't cost it doesn't cost you to follow somebody. You see somebody follow you, follow back, so that we get it's easy to have a neural link. We are connected. So when there's something like ikifaa huko hivyo, unajua uta receive information because we are interconnected. But kama ufollow wase wote, kuna vitu zenye utamiss. Alafu pia kuna hiyo na propaganda yenye inaspreadiwa na gava, wana choose kitu ya kutuonyesha yenye itakuwa easy kwa sisi. Ideally sahii wase wengi wenye kama umeamua umechoose kwa hii space, by right now unafaa kwa able ku discriminate information. Unajua kuna information as much as iko available doesn't mean it is true. So we are aware right now, so lazima we have to know how to kubagua data yenye tuna consume. So yeah, so I want to give somebody else a chance. As we try spreading the hashtag, we're supposed to convene in town, and we need somewhere close to maybe even as a center, not as a center, but archives is better, so that we think about closing maybe the roads. That will be easier to get the attention of these guys, because ideally at this rate we are not okay as a country. Our rights are being violated. You saw the legs of those guys who were shot because it's the right of the citizen to demonstrate when they feel that the rights are being violated. So it's for anybody who is sane enough to have gone to a classroom. It's you're always going to feel like if somebody is going to take away from you, you always have to raise up your hand. You say like this is not right. And for now, we are fighting the world government. We want them to take away their agent, because now Ruto is their agent, and then we don't want to conflict with him. Kama hizo vitu zingine zote za ICJ zitamwekea the cases after tumeshamfanya resign, tutakuwa happy sana. For now, let's try mobilize our friends. Make sure you come with 5 or 3 guys. Tell them, spread the civic information. Ukiingia kwa mat, jaribu engage most of those guys wenye wako dormant. Kama uko na these guys wenye they don't want to understand, at least jaribu kuwapea reason enough to understand, or just choose some sort of si lazima ikuwe tricky. Make it so obvious that one understand. It's called use a layman's language kumfanya understand. Yeah, so I'm going to give HCL chance. Mike ni yako.
Nane, Data.
Good morning my brothers and sisters. Nashukuru, mimi ni already niko town, nimefika. Kuna drizzling tu kiasi, lakini si vile. Mimi niko town tayari, so mkifika mtani alert. Jana tulifika hapo haka hives mapema, tukapiga malapsi pale, lakini polisi walikuwa wapatii watu chance. Wakiwapata watu kama 3 hivyo narusha tear gas, so waliturusha tear gas hapo, tulikuwa watu kama 10 venye tulikuwa tunakimbia, nikaanguka nikaumia gote, but si vile sana. Nimefika town, so nawangojea mkifika tutakuwa alert. Mimi niko hapa tu karibu na archives. Thank you, tunawangojea huku drizzling tu, lakini si vile.
Thank you. Tunajaribu ku make sure that tuko wengi numbers. So kama uko kwa hizo groups, spread the hashtag kwa Twitter, jaribu kuishare. Acha nianze, kama unanifollow, acha nijaribu create some good hashtag yenye spread ta create attention ya wase wengi, because we need numbers. Ideally we need numbers. Ingekuwa possible hata tu we don't want to pay these guys. The problem is we want to like, ingekuwa easy sana kujaribu kuambia hawa say what is happening, like when our own, ingekuwa easy sana kuwa convince. That's the challenge we are facing. But try speak to those guys, wenye wanajaribu kwa ignorant, because ignorance itatumes. Na power is like you can never request for power. Like if you see like players, great players, like let me take a good example, like somebody like Magnus Carlsen, or maybe there's another guy, the Chinese guy is an American. Those guys, they make good moves. That's why we identify them as good players in chess. Like there's something they do unique. You'll never say a good player is not a good player because you hate on them. See, if somebody is good, is good. So you have to appreciate and then move forward. But right now, the player that we chose to represent us is not performing. The player, he has a lot of mistakes, like his agility is low, the composure is not good, and he's a sellout. That's the idea. He's a sellout. So we need to take back the power, and as the people, we shall be powerful, and we shall remain powerful because we are the people, and we are the sovereign people of any country. The people are sovereign. It doesn't have to be like you're Democratic or you're Republican. It doesn't depend. But the people should have the power given to them. Just that we can't, all of us, we can't be leaders in this space. We need some guidance. That's why we have to have representatives. So I'll give Joy a chance to make a point, or that's better. Yeah.
Thank
Excuse,
you,
kuna
data
ile nani
scientist. Oh, sorry about that.
Go ahead first. We're going to give him the chance.
Oh, okay. No, I was just saying maybe the next person should be Jojo. He's been here waiting for a while, and Dick Big, and the next one, Nashipai. Thank you. Then Spider.
Hey, good morning, guys. Am I audible?
You're loud and clear.
Yeah. It's good to see you guys are still active over here. And as much as Jana, we came home and we were feeling a bit deflated, but hata mi nilikuja and I felt demoralized, demotivated, but then nikaingia spaces kusikiza tu, and guys cried, guys lamented, but guys still came out and they said we still managed to shut down Nairobi. And when you look at it, as small as a win that is, it's still a win. And unfortunately, a few of us were Lalandani, but it's exasperating as it is. My point today is mi atakuwa saizi niko rejuvenated sana. Jana nikiwa tao na nilifika mapema, I noticed macops walikuwa wengi, and they had locked out most of the feeder roads, which is a strategy. I mean, it work for them. So my points are as follows. We need to go back to being unpredictable. And unpredictable, we, as much as we can, we want to riot even 3 days and demonstrate. It's a tall order. The only way it's going to be accomplished if it's by one chance to manage to gather crowd as much as Vietly gather was say on the 25th. Already saizi, most of the people are like, this mandamano is not gaining anything for them. They're not seeing whether we are going, and Ruto is getting bolder, and the government is getting creative. So we need to go back to being unpredictable. And as it is right now, gava imeamua kufanya vitu venye itafanya. So we take a step back, re-strategize. Gava is always going to mess up. Say they are just kiburi ko too much. So they'll give us all the energy and the fire that we need to plan something. Now, as we are planning some of these things, we can be talking here and analyzing and encouraging each other on the spaces. But our main strategies should be revealed one day before we execute. The second point is history ya kwendaga CBD peke yake. If we decide CBD, cops mobilize. Cops have the funds. The governor has the funds and he has the reach. They'll intimidate us. They'll come for us in our homes. So once they don't know they can't keep randomly picking one here, one there. So ideas zinafaa kuwa shared and the strategies finalized and then applied. So we need to be unpredictable, and we release the strategies, and then we also multi-focus on different socials. Venye watu wamekuja wakasema yenyewe tumeshinda space sana, we should also try and use akina Facebook as naive as and upuzi venye apiko, but kuna pala kwa Facebook.
Facebook won't work, Instagram won't work. You should already be knowing that.
No. Uko hivyo ni kushare kama clips ama snippets za nini za successful moves nini ama hizo makalenda nini ama hizo hashtag yenye iko na kaposta nini, at least just push tu huko.
Okay, but ukwe careful venye unatuma, utatuma anything, not lazima ikuwe some vida yenye iko concealed. Kama utasend the message kama umeencrypt. Kama ni vida ni fiti hata utoe volume juu. If those guys wanajua unajaribu ku send the message, the CEO utakuwa suspended, you know. The free speech, kuna hiyo aspect ya Elon alifanya, there's no censorship here information. That's why everybody is a free soul.
Then also we work on verifying the people who actually frequent some of kama KOT. Saa zingine pipita naona pia saa zingine miwaga napitia hiyo space yake. Saa zingine nasikiza hii Tony Gashoka when I really want to hear how to think or how to when we want to look at things from a political perspective, from people who understand Gava and they understand some of these politicians. So my other point is we need to have like more than 3 strategies apart from picketing and going on the attack, because once we go on the attack, we get attacked. Gava will always come back and it will always be prepared to attack us. So the other thing is we also need to saizi Ruto na Rao wanataka kwenda kufufua the bombers draft. I can't remember it and I want to start looking for it and reading it. I think most of us should also do that, understand it, so that by the time wanakuja kutaka kucheza na hii constitution yenye imeshinda maprezo, ilishinda Kibaki as much as Kibaki ndiye aliichukua na ikashinda nani akaikataa, Uhuru akaikataa kuimplement. We don't expect Ruto to implement this constitution because even he voted no for it. So now that Rao amerealize this will be a problem to my people, my politicians, my kins and my future generation, he wants to tamper with it with the bombers draft. So now the time is ripe now to start thinking in those lines. If they are going to use politics to keep us under control, we still use that politics to get in and push our main agenda, which is equality, which is corruption free, which is making Kenya work. So hata mimi I'm always agitating for punguza mizigo ikuje, hata ikawezekana kuwa implemented. If these guys go ahead with the bombers draft, then we push Ekuru to come up with the punguza mzigo. That way we'll have 2 documents, the same way we had punguza mizigo ya kwanza na BBI, but most people voted on tribal lines wakavotia BBI, but then the court dismissed it. But I'm hoping these guys go ahead with that bombers draft because it will give us the leeway and the chance to change this constitution so that public service itabaki kuwa one very lazima ukwe professional, lazima ukwe dedicated, lazima ukwe patriotic. Unaona, tribal politics has made Kenyans become less patriotic. They're only patriotic when there's athletics or when you're being attacked online. And I love that. But Kenyans have never stopped being patriotic. And that thing should be the one that overrides tribalism. You are so Kenyan that we don't care about your tribe. So those are my 3 strategies for now. I'm still trying to figure out how, when we go for those protests, how do we demobilize the movement of the cops? Those are things now we can be thinking about, but history ya kupiga hii maandamano venye tunaipiga until we get the numbers. And as much as we are doing the civic education, we're also trying to learn about political education and also sharing that. So let's be so diverse. By the time we go for the next match, hata ule mtu wa mtaani ukiongea naye ako on board, anaona yenyewe umedecide kufanya hii kitu. Me have convinced so many people who are so anti this protest, and they are like, enyewe Joe, I don't know where you've gotten this calling and this energy, but I admire it. Na eventually ile siku tutawa need, they'll come. We'll be like, so let's use those 3 strategies. Na saizi hata kwanza to try to create a hashtag of sorts ya kumulika makarao. Let's try and show them just how dismal their lives are, as much as we are fighting for everyone's rights. Tuoneshe mkishinda hapo hivyo mkitupiga, let's take pictures of them being misused. Eventually at some point some sense will check in. Ama mnaonaje? If I have some more ideas, I'll keep on chipping in.
Okay, hiyo idea yako iko fiti, but again kitu inafaa tukumbuke ni ati haifai tu waste time tukifanya hiyo civic education. Tutapea wase chance ya kucounter manzi. Haifai tuwape time mob. Kama saizi inafaa within saizi 9:40. 20 minutes inafaa tuwe tushafika huko. Hakuna time
Game
manzi.
plan ya leo ni
Hello guys, I'm saying this, eh? Hello, Nanisikia?
Yeah.
Hello. Okay, I'm saying this. As much as it's that way, you also need to come with a strategy whereby, you see, Gava iko na people who think, eh? Because when you take a look at the way President Ruto is dealing with us, eh? Hello, mnanisikia?
Yeah, well,
Hello. Yeah.
I'm saying this, eh? When you take a look at the way the government is dealing with us, eh? They are not dealing with us kienyeji. Even us, we are not supposed to be dealing with them kienyeji. We should be coming up with strategies, maybe something that we don't even understand what's happening. You see, like the way the first revolution came, eh? It's because more people were in board. More people tulikuwa tunaelewa what we were going to do. Something. Hello, you're getting me?
But
yes, I'm saying this.
The point imefika home. The point imefika home. Ideally, we need a strategy. And I don't know if you just doing the meeting. We already have the strategy, but we are lacking some like little few things that what
but you see, I'm saying this, as much maybe you see civic education, as much as we are doing it, eh? And I'm also a participant on that, eh? Hata kama the change is not going to be now, at least we have an impact on the society, in that you find that kuna more knowledge that iko impacted on more people than kitambo. Right now, I don't think even when we'll be coming to vote, maybe in 2027, the same way people voted, it will be that way. In fact, that tribalism to maybe in a very big match.
But sahi, we can't reach everybody. Really, what you can do, just try post on your Twitter, post when you're in a march, when with your friends, tell them, just spread the word. But we can't reach
for that one, I'm honestly doing that. You know, it's not that many. I don't have very many followers, but down here, we are forcing it left, right, and center because this guy must go. But we also need to be.
Then let me finish. I'm saying when you're doing a good job, what you'll do is just keep on doing that, and then try speak to more people. These border guys, the IQ is somewhat small, so once we have been used to take people to do the good stuff, at least try making them like 1,000 bob. I won't help them next maybe 2 or 3 days.
Yeah, sure.
That will be good. And then what I'll say, you need to know something. Power. There's this guy in a first. There's something he said, and it's really powerful. Power is never given back to the people by the oppressor. Power is not oppressor.
Yeah, sure.
When the oppressed, we have to snatch away the power. We are the oppressed. So power is given by oppressor to the people. Now what we have to do as the people, we have a big decision to make, and the decision is going to come in handy if we make it. If we want to do like election, the only thing we have to do is we march, we take it to that's the end goal. We take it to State House to make sure that the president is down. If he doesn't want to sign to resign by goodwill, then there's another thing to know. For us to make sure that we have the support of the military, we have to be united. We have to move close together. We have to cause havoc in such a way that we are not going to engage with the police. We can't engage with the police. We're supposed to let the military engage with the police. Same thing I saw happen in Nigeria. They are supposed to be told to step down. You see, like soldiers step down, because us we can't. We don't have like the guns and stuff. So that's a disadvantage. But if we go in numbers, we are going to outdo them. That's an advantage. So we have to take back the power. We have to march from maybe archives, moving forward to that route of Westlands. If we're going to maybe use the Arboretum side, it will be better if we marched to the status today using the Arboretum side. Some of us entering Arboretum, the others from the other side, but we move together in numbers. It will be a strategic move. Myself, I'll be recording from the ground. I just urge you guys to maybe we unite together, and then I'll take away the power from the Babylonians. So I'll give a
what about a Sunday? What about a Sunday?
Can we give sorry.
Let him ask the question.
What about a Sunday? Like Sunday, we'll have more people going to church, more people coming from church. Tunaenda hiyo church na saa sita saa saba.
Ina depend na watu wanaweza show up. Hiyo inaweza kuwa pia kitu ya siku ingine. Tunajua kama in case tutakuwa tumefulfill. Saa hii we need to know the time wasi wataturn out is when we know if we go this decision is a concrete one or we have to move it your idea. But for now, let's just share the hashtag. We see people are going to turn out. Just turn out. It's better to turn out late than never. Better. The Sunday, if it's that the day for us to maybe to stop the religious stuff that they've been using.
Mazo kidandiwa maze kutoka ni Monday.
Unaogopa kushikwa leo. Sasa ndio maana tunasema tuna move in numbers. Kwani uko afraid kushikwa? Mama. That's why we need to know that you have to know what you want if you're going to be here. Like it's that serious.
Guys, turn out like large manze. Hizi vitu zingine inafaa tuongee we are wasting so much.
Hiyo ndio tunaongea sasa hivi.
Wacha nijitayarisha nijipate huko maafte.
Sasa hivyo ndio moral. So ukianza kuwa moral
mimi nishamaliza. Mimi niko na head tao. Actually nikienda hivyo archives, so like guys, we have to do this today
onwards. We can't say today or never. It's today onwards. This is what we have to do. So I want to give somebody.
Sawa, tupatane hapo hivyo tao. Mimi nishatoka.
I want another speaker to give their views. We are winding up actually. Tunafaa by 10 tuko hapo hivyo. Watu wa mwisho ni 10:30 tupatane. Tunapatana hapa hivi. Actually hiyo itakuwa
Digbik na Shipai, they've been waiting for a while.
Hi guys, can you hear me?
Yeah, you're audible.
Thanks a lot for this. Kitu moja jana nilikuwa tao by 6:45 but it went how it went. But tuache mambo ya strategy na nini, saa hii ni watu kutokea. Let's all come out. That is it. For now ni kutokea. Me, I'll be in town maybe in the next 45 minutes. So tutajua from there. Let us all meet there. Sina mengi, ni hayo tu.
Okay, I can go next. So I just wanted to say one thing. As we go to the streets pia, mi nazataka, sahi nasikia uchungu, yani niko revenge mode. So sahi nataka, sijui kama tunaweza anza kuboycott, to include like boycotting with our strategy ya kwenda street. We don't need a lot to boycott. We don't need to strategize sijui nini. Tunasema tu from today tuna boycott. You guys wenye wanajua hizi ma businesses zao, ma traders wetu, come up with a list. Mi kwanza leo ile story ya Safaricom ndo naanza nayo. Mi na withdraw do yangu from M-Pesa na naanza kutumia cash. ama bank. So I think that's one strategy yenye tunaweza anza nayo.
Hata bank unabuy crypto, unabuy BTC itakuwa better.
Ndio hiyo sasa tumesikia pia hizo manini ma crypto tunaweza anza nazo. I don't know how we can transact na crypto though on our day to day lives. Huku kwa
education unaweza Binance. ukikuwa na crypto, just have a Binance account, you'll be selling. When you want to sell, kama uko place, you just tell somebody crypto, anakupea cash, una receive cash. Sasa lazima utumie mpesa, hiyo ndo shida, we can't transact juu anakutumia mpesa. So ideally inabidi tumepata another way ya kutransact. Hiyo itakuwa for another.
Yeah. Yeah, I understand. So mi nataka like kitu immediate. Nasema ka sahi as we are going to the streets sahi ama tomorrow we start boycotting. At the same time as we are going to the streets, we make them feel the pain pia. M-Pesa I think ndo ina making a lot of money for Safaricom, see data and credits. So I think we can start na pia boycotting. That was all I wanted to say. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. David, were you done?
Sure, I was done, but I think kutokea bana tu, because there is no option. The Ruto must go. Hakuna hivi other option. But this was I was saying. As much as Ruto must go, we must also be having a strategy. We are dealing with a very smart guy, by the way. Very smart. I think we can start by also maybe I saw there was a website here ya kuimpeach MPs. Maybe we can start running for that to do a one by one. They see the seriousness in it before after the ABC were constituted fully. I don't know, maybe if we can go with that arrangement. Hey guys, mnanisikia?
Tunakusikia.
Yes, I think we can start with that one. Then moving forward, marching forward, because I know this journey ya kutoa Ruto, it's not something that we are going to achieve instantly. But we see when we move with consistency, I think we are going to achieve something.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, because
Asante.
if we deal with him too all the time, kuingia na ya maandamano left, right and center. You see yesterday at a town kuingia too, it was just something else, because the police kuna something now again they are getting. And also from the side of the law, would like to understand how constitutional is it for the police to be kuvaa a mask or something like that, and also arresting people left, right, and center. I would also like to understand, maybe if there is a lawyer in the house, maybe he can maybe share some insight on that one. Hey guys.
Yeah. Okay, asante. What's her name? There was a lady here called Lillian. Ametoka? Lillian, I think amedrop. Okay, sawa. Roots, buddy, you've been here for a
Somebody's
while.
on there.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, you've been here. Sawa, endelea.
Okay. Good morning, guys. So I think the space is acting up for some people, but I hope you'll bear with me. So first nataka congratulate kila mtu mwenye aliweza kutana up yesterday. Haikuwa rahisi, but at least we made an impact. Number one, hatuku lose jana. We actually won. We won big time, ndo maana CBD ilienda at a shutdown. Another thing I would like to, there's someone here who's alikuwa anapeana strategies. He gave about 3 points. Na I think I concur with him kwa sababu sana kwa ground people need civic education. Na tusiseme hatuna time ya kufunza watu. The more tunasema hatuna time, the more they don't want to listen to us. The more they keep on listening to the government, because wanaonyeshwa these people hawana nini. My friend, teach kila mtu mwe unapata mwenye haelewi kitu, try your best, explain to them why we are doing this. Juu siwadanganyi, tukiendelea hivi kama jana, from the list I've seen, kama jana pekee nimeona over 72 people have been arrested, over 70 I mean have been arrested. My friend, tutakujiwa kila mtu wenye tunapostingi hapa, tutakujiwa kwa manyumba na hakuna kitu itafanyika, because at this point hata leo actually mi hata niko ready, ninataka kutoka around 10:30. Nimekuwa nikingoja chance kwanza niongee. So kindly I plead with you guys, tuendelee kupigana hii vita. Also another thing, I know this might sound wrong, but kwa hii revolution, people must die. Sitawadanganya. Personally, mi nimejitolea mahanga. I'm ready. If anything happens, so be it. Si mipango yangu. Lakini nawaambia msee, tukiendelea unajua one thing I've realized, tunaogopa kifo more than we fear being oppressed. Na if we go with that mentality, my friend, utakuwa unaenda hapo tiagas moja ikitupu unarudi nyumbani, of which it won't work. It won't work tukiendelea na strategy tunatumia. Pia venye he said we need to stop being predictable. Yeah. Because my friend, hata last week we can compare from last week's maandamano and this week's maandamano. No, it was not last week, the other week, the previous maandamano, that is. You can see venye tulieza kuwacounter hawa watu. They thought tumeenda JKIA. Personally, I was one of the people who went to JKIA, although I had my means of transport. Nilifika JKIA and I stayed there for a while because it was early in the morning. Media wakakuja and then nika realize, wait, there's something going wrong here. Nika decide kuingia CBD direct. And when I went to CBD, one thing, I have a motorbike. So when I reached CBD, my friend, wale watu wa pia watu wenye wanakubali kulipwa, people, mbona mnakubali kubeba ujinga hivyo? Unaekewa mafuta ati unaekewa full tank, unaenda ati count ati protest. My friend, tutadeal na hao watu kwa sababu number one, when I got to CBD, the vibe was ilikuwa tu hivi, lakini venye niliingia huko ndani, my friend, nikapatana na waandamanaji, although they were not part of the real waandamanaji, walikuwa vijana wa marikiti. Since I passed through that road, my friend, nilinyeshewa mamawe and nikashanga what is not happening in town. So I was thinking those guys were being paid ndo wakaunta maandamano, kumbe they thought I was one of the people who were being paid. So my main point is tafadhali, kila mtu mwenye unapata hapa kwa ground mwenye haelewi tu, ndo unajua, the more we convince the elderly people na watu haelewi what we are doing, ndo watataka kutokea na sisi kwa streets. Juna tukiendelea kutokea ati in the name, I agree, this whole revolution has been started by Gen Z, but kufika kwa streets we need to come out all ages. Hata ukuwe miaka ngapi, we need to come, kwa sababu we are all suffering. The government haitachagua ati nitatesa Gen Z, nitatesa we will all suffer under the oppression of this government. So kindly guys, let's teach people, let's make them understand. Na tutok hata saa hizi, my friend, nikitoka kwa hii live, already nishajitayarisha. Mi naelekea town, wenye mtatokea kindly tuendelee kutweet, let's follow each other, ndo tukitweet tunajua tuko hii place, at least hata mtu anaweza join others, ndo kwa sababu pia mtu akiwa peke yake pale town unapata kuna when you alone hauna hiyo motisha, kwa sababu pia uko na kauoga kidogo, utapata unataka kurudi nyumbani, unataka kufanya nini. So please tusaidiane tu hapa, let's follow each other, tuelemishane hapo nje na we push this thing through. Trust you me, my guys, lazima we will win kama Bangladesh did it. Another venye nawaambia, tusiogope ati let's not fear death and we fear oppression, kwa sababu number one, in Bangladesh one day, the year independence day yao, over 60 people died, 14 of them being police officers. My friend, personally, nimejitolea. If I die, mjue I died for trying to make my country a better place to live, and a better place for my kids. Sijui kama mnaweza nisikia still because my mic is acting up. But all in all, that's all I have to say. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Roots. Next ni Beta Kenya.
Hey, sasa Joy,
Fiti, mambo.
mi niko poa.
Asante kwa hii opportunity ya kuongea. I'll start with hiyo time ya occupying at JKIA. That time, like when we were to occupy tomorrow, siku kama ya leo tukioccupy kesho, I met some 4 guys. Niko Nakuru mimi. I met some 4 guys walikuwa place yenye nafanyanga kazi, and they were looking for hizi malori zenye zinabebanga mizigo ziwabebe ndio wakuje Nairobi kuoccupy JKIA. And I was very interested in following up on that story. Na wakapata gari na wakakuja mpaka Nairobi. Only for them to get to Nairobi and there was no occupy JKIA. And people were here online saying that they have fooled the police. Oh, mnaona vile tumefanya waweke mapolisi na huko hivyo wamebarricade mabarabara sijui nini nini. People were online laughing, thinking that they had fooled the police, but they had fooled more than the police. They had fooled willing participants wa kuoccupy JKIA. Because when those guys came back to Nakuru, they were really mad. Waliona wamechezwa na wamebeba ufala. Because you see, not everyone is on these spaces. Kuna watu wenye wako tu kwa ground, yani nikienda mahali niseme, by the way, kesho, there's occupy this place. Huyo mtu atachukua hiyo maneno ataenda ipeleke kwa mtu mwingine, because the way things work kwa ground ni different na vile zina work online. Online tunaweza kuja tucheke, we make fun, we make jokes, we make plans that we won't see through, because a lot of people wamekuja huku online wamepiga kelele na hawajatokea kwa ground. Kwa ground ukienda tu, hata maandamano mingi za Raila zinakuanga very successful because they are not online, ziko huko chini kwa watu. Ameenda amechocha watu kwa chini, watu wamesikia, wametokea. But now what happened was, after the JKIA thing, it was really hard for people to trust whatever it is that is being said. Let's occupy this, kuna nane. It was really hard for people to trust that it is happening after they showed up to occupy JKIA and it turned out to be a prank. So gaining the people's trust will need for us to get out of social media na tuingie kwa ground. We talk to people, we organize this protest huku kwa ground. Another thing, you cannot be telling your opponent your next move. Hatuwezi kuwa tunacheza kadi na ninakwambia next nataka niangushe 3. Oh, by the way niko na joker but sitaiangusha sasa, nitaiangusha after nimeangusha kadi zingine kama 3. I'm giving you a chance to plan. And that is exactly what we've been doing all this time. Tunataka kupigana na Ruto, but mnataka kumpe hiyo chance ya kujipanga, giving him your next move.
Bogo. Yes. Good morning.
Mnamwambia oh, kesho tunatokea tunaenda JKIA, ama kesho tunatokea tunakuja State House. How is he going to put back for you people to occupy State House? How? You're giving him the idea of what you're planning. You're supposed to be giving him inaitangwa element of surprise. Mnasema mnakuja online mnapiga kelele mnasema date 9 tunatokea. Date 6 ndio mnatokea. Element of surprise. He was not expecting you kutokea on that 6th. Juu kwa ground mumejipanga umesema tunatokea 6th. Sasa mumepangana mnatokea date 9, date 8 ataenda alipe watu wa kucounter your protest. Ataenda apangane na mapolisi, ataenda aambie polisi tunaongezea mshahara ndio awa motivate the following day watoke. So already you've given him a date, you've given him time to organize his way of defense. So how are you supposed to win that? You cannot win that. Kama sasa mnasema sijui tunapatana archives. Washajua tunapatana archives. How will they let you mpatane archives? How? They can't give you that opportunity. So if you want to win this thing, just stop this whole social media online parading thing. Muache kabisa. And stop comparing yourself to Bangladesh. You cannot reach the levels the Bangladesh did. Juu one, wao wako wanakuja huku kupiga kelele online. Two, they didn't care about what the other person was saying. Wao walishikana huko chini kwa ground, wakapangana. The prime minister wasn't expecting those numbers. Juu hawakuwa wana announce we expecting 100 people. They were not announcing anything. They were doing things in secret. Na ndio maandamano zote zenye zimepangwa na Raila, they are always successful. Juu he doesn't announce when it's happening, zinatokeanga tu. He doesn't announce the number of people showing up. He doesn't announce the meeting point. Everything is a secret. And hata government iko tu hawajui where to expect Raila and his people and his goons. Okay, it's always the goons, but they don't know where to expect them. Sasa nyinyi kwanza musha lose trust by the watu huko chini. Hiyo ni ukweli, sitawadanganya. And it will take a lot of convincing. Juu sasa hii hata mkiongea kitu hapa wanasema sasa wanaongeanga tu online na tukitokea hawako. Hata hiyo archive yenye mnasema watu wakuje, hakuna watu watakuja. Ni nyinyi tu wenye mnasema mtaenda. People won't show up. It's like now you're planning something but you're on your own. People come here online wanapiga kelele sana. Oh yeah, tunatokea. Ukimuuliza akuonyeshe picha yenye alitokea, hakuna picha atakuonyesha. So if you want to do this and you want to win this thing, get off social media. Hata mkikuja kwa social media mnakuja tu kuwa mislead. Not telling them where you will be when you will be. Muingia kwa ground. Make it seem like you're not working. Make it seem like you're not even ready to protest anytime soon. Just muende huko mpike kabisa huko chini. Juu shida moja online, na ndio maana hata watu wanalipwa, ni kwa sababu wanaona nani anapiga kelele sana. Sasa kila mtu akona shida ya do, wacha tumpe. Ananyamaza, wacha tumpe. But when they don't know who is talking, who is making the loudest of the noise, they cannot bribe anyone. So if you want to win this war, mutahave kuingia kwa ground. Muachane na mambo za simu. Muingie huko mpike. Wacha imsurprise tu. Haya, leo kulikuwa na maandamano. And they don't even know. Polisi wametumwa na huko, polisi wako vacation, polisi wamerelax tu. Watu washatokea town. So they can't even be able to fight you in that manner. But hizi zenyu za kusema tunaenda siku fulani, just stop. Just stop that. You want to do this and you want a revolution. Stop doing it for the views. Stop doing it for the likes and the follows. Go do it kwa ground. Tafuteni watu waende kwa ground. Another thing I noticed with us, hii kitu vile ilianzia, there was this anonymous guy ile time ya reject finance bill. Akakuja akasema reject the finance bill. People were very excited. Oh, huyu atatusaidia. He will help us expose Ruto nini. And when he didn't, watu walikasirika. I did see a lot of people tweeting saying huyu jamaa alituchocha. Another thing happened. Watu wakaanza kutag ICC, watu wa Hague, hoping that wakiona hizi picha zenye watu wameuliwa nini, they would take Ruto out and take him too. This is our fight. Don't expect ati mtu atoke na huko akuje tupiganie. It's us that have to kutoa Ruto kwa hiyo kiti for other people now to see haya washafanya hivyo, sasa wacha tuendelee. Ni kama tu in life, when you want to win, you can't just win. You can't just expect someone akuje akusaidie kuwin. But wakiona you're making progress, hapo ndo watakuja sasa wakusukume mpaka mwisho. So we have to do this thing kwa ground. Kindly people, wacheni mambo ya kuchocha watu online. Stop giving information online. Just stop. You want to win, ingieni kwa ground uko chini. Unaona kwanza hawa watu huku kwa ushago hawa watu wenye wajasoma sana.
Data
Those are your
Kenya,
strongest weapon.
malizia. Niko na request more.
Ni saa hata nimemaliza.
Oh, okay, asante. Next ni Frank KE.
Yeah, good
Go ahead.
morning, good afternoon, good evening, whenever you're tuned from. Thank you very much. Thank you, QT, for this opportunity.
Frank.
Yeah, mnasikia?
Okay, let's go to Stone. Stone PK.
Thank you so much, KOT Joy, and all those of us who are listening. Mimi niko na nini kidogo tu, and I will follow very suit to the immediate speaker ule ametoka saa hii. Kwanza ni wa congratulate, mumefanya vizuri. Let's say the truth, because hiyo kufreeze the city, the capital city of Nairobi, of Kenya, is one very, very, very remarkable thing. Sasa number two, I would want us to really rethink, just like what my immediate speaker has said. Juu sasa tumekuwa tukifanya very civil kind of revolution, and that honestly doesn't work. Revolution zote hakunanga ati maneno, oh, we are doing this peaceful, we are prayerful, we are this, we are that. Because the aim is, you want to topple a government. We want to remove Ruto, period. Msilete stories zingine mob hapo ati sijui nini ati muna expect sasa kuna ODM wameform hii ati sasa you expect anything good, because you cannot have a hyena being a chair to decide on how mbuzi zitachungwa hapa chini, yet mbuzi ndio chakula yake. Ruto is gaining ground. And nobody should say, oh, Ruto sijui ati sasa ana understand, ana feel, Ruto is not feeling anything. He's ruthless. Those of us who are a little bit older than you people, we know what it means for such a guy to be on the seat. Na sasa na mtaona, if we don't now change the gear is one is there is nothing called peaceful. Tuachane na hiyo. Number two, it's either we decide hizo surprises, okay, ni kupanga hizo surprises, and hizo surprises zinafanywa cell type. You create cells zina communicate, smaller groups discussing, and we are discussing live. Githurai tuna discuss, Muranga tuna discuss, Nyeri, hivyo. Then we, number three, get very angry, because nimerealize wa Kenya shida ile iko, we cannot succeed because we never get angry, and then we are not collective. Sai kama sasa tunasema ati revolution ni Gen Z. I've been on many platforms na nimesema revolution muache maneno ya kusema ni ya watu fulani na fulani, and that's where even Raila goofed. Alipoona vile successful imeenda, akaona hala glory yake inachukuliwa. He overturned it. Point yangu ya mwisho is that whatever is being done, ladies and gentlemen, the rich have ganged up. Wezi ndio wamegroup. Thugs, waizi, wauaji wa Kenya wameungana, Raila included. I know most of us personally, I don't want to reveal so many things. I've been on Raila's side for many years politically, okay? But I'm done with him, because anybody dining with somebody who has killed our brothers and sisters, hata kama ni babangu angefanya hivyo, I would have said enough is enough. When I see those pictures of the brains scattered on that tarmac, nikijua ati sasa huyu amejoin huko pretending that ataleta kitu itawasaidia, tafadhali forget that. Raila will not be any helpful to this country. Raila is going for a seat like anybody would apply for a seat internationally, ya bibi yake na familia yake, not for Kenya. Okay, so I know there are people who are saying Jeshi la Baba, and they are the ones who have really impended this movement. Gen Z and everybody else, you had done, tulikuwa tumegain ground vizuri sana, and we had choked this guy. He was at the point of kutoka, actually take off. It is Raila who stopped it, the truth be said. Okay, so nataka tukasirike kabisa na tuache maneno ya kusema peaceful, tuende ground to mobilize watu and forget about the issue ya civic education. Hakuna mtu ajui bad governance. Tusiwaste time na hizo vitu. Lastly, there are many ways of skinning a cat. Ruto akishinda watu, anaweza kufanya Matraore thing. I mean, those who get assassinated, kwani And I'm saying this without fear of contradiction. Stop being modest. You are dealing with the devil. You are dealing with evil. Ukienda huko umeshika ati unaenda umeshika bendera peke yake, unapigwa risasi, unaanguka, because he doesn't care. So me, I would want, even if we have to retreat for like even 1 week, 2 weeks or whatever, just to rethink, do we really want to take this head on? People are talking about Bangladesh. Bangladesh uliona ilifika mpaka wanatoka na marungu. They were carrying those rungus. Why? They are carrying those rungus because they realize we are being killed. And they went and hit it head on. We can never win in terms of hii tunaita soft, sijui peaceful, sijui nini. Hiyo hatuwezi. We have now to change and hit it head on. Kumungatua ni kumungatua. He is cornered. He will use every other. He has the upper hand. He has the power over. So what do? You use the numbers, as we've been saying. And your numbers in mobilize and move, not to retreat at all. Mimi nitaachia hapo by saying, let's learn to be angry. Tusikue soft. In fact, we should not even entertain usoftness. Amen. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. I hope, Joy, you can hear me. So,
Yeah, I can.
Okay, so unfortunately, I've got an emergency. I'll be ending the space in 5 minutes, but KOT atafungua space ingine later. So, I'm so sorry, guys. Maybe around hapo 10:20 to 10:30, so we have around 10 minutes to finish up the space. I'm so sorry, guys, but space ingine itafunguliwa. Thank you.
Madam Joy, can you allow me speak kidogo?
Hata iko na shida ya network.
Yeah, can I speak
cannot add
kidogo?
anybody and nobody can. Frank, can you hear me? Are you able to speak or not?
Can hear you, eh?
Okay, go ahead. Because it just tells me it's connecting. No, I can't see any speaker with me. Even the
Okay,
request, I can't add anybody.
okay,
Sijui
can I
shida
speak?
iko wapi.
Okay,
Mwenye
can I
anaweza
speak?
ongea ongee cause imekataa kabisa. I think uko na shida ya network.
Okay, hope nasikika vizuri, eh?
Mwenye anaweza ongea ongee.
Hello, I'm speaking, eh? I'm speaking. So far so good. Hizi peaceful protests hakuna penye zinatupeleka. So we should come up with other meaningful ways za kucounter, because these guys vile tu the previous speakers wamesema, tukitokea na flag eti na maji peke yake, we should come up with ways and the ways should include the security ways. Number one, hawa watu wenye wanashikwa, mimi kwanza na wahurumia. I don't know if we can come up with a fund tuweze kujua like tukue na hao lawyers wenye tunajua vile hao watu wameshikwa kumeenda aje, kama ni kuchannel out the money they become released, because ina demotivate the others. And then let us also come up with meaningful ways. Can we go as far as assassinations if it is possible? That is my, like, if we can go for that head, because he is coming for us. You will be abducted, never to be seen. You will not even know where you will be taken. So for me, I want to state that if we can organize, pia sisi tukue, like, because we are going for a Satan, the man in the counter suit, you know, is not friendly, because he is going to shoot on you and you are going to lose your life. So for me, I will just want us to improvise on our means and ways, na tuache kwenda na flags tuende ati tunafanya ati nini, because those guys, they will just harass you, abduct you, and even follow you up to your homestead, and then wakufanyie kitu yote wanataka. No one will speak about it. We can see all the other institutions are paralyzed, so we cannot expect something good out of our peaceful protest. So let us organize, re-strategize. Kama tunaweza pata, if there is somebody by the way mwenye anaweza tupatia a very good sniper, bro, we can channel out money, we can pay. Tumpate tu pia akikuja hizo mavitu zake akisema anatenga pesa apate tumemtengea. so that atupate pia sisi kama tumejipanga. We cannot tolerate this because the issues that we have raised, none has been like hakuna yenye imeangaliwa so far. Those guys, they're just clumping together as political elites to organize their own and to only solve their nini for their security na kukuwa na their test ya hiyo nini hizo seats. So let us find the most punitive way, the hardest that it can be. Kama mi kwa sana sana hii nini, si kijana anakujanga ground, tuwezi channel kitu kama 200 Gs tupee mtu tumwambie kazi ndio hii. Hata kama ni 1 million, we just use the resources pia sisi, because the guy is using resources. Pia sisi tunaweza mchallenge so that we know what we should be doing with that. Hiyo ndo my submission. Let us change our tactics and our ways so that we don't find this thing ati tunaenda streets tunakufa ovyo ovyo. We employ more tactics, na pia protests lazima ziendelee in any way. We cannot stop that.
Okay, thank you. There are 4 more speakers and I want to drop the space. So kindly Frank, alafu George, alafu Kamu Junior, alafu Stone PK, in that order. We have around 10 minutes only. Space ingine itafunguliwa, don't worry, and vile tu niko na emergency. So Frank and then George and then Kamu Junior and then Stone PK. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Kioti. Thank you very much. Yeah, I just want to be very brief because the time is really running. Yeah, yesterday I was in the street, I was in Nairobi, I was in CBD. What I saw there, it was very, sikubambika na kitu niliona. Just imagine mimi nimefika tu Nairobi hapo CBD, naenda kuchukua ka flag kangu, alafu jamaa ananiuliza nanunua flag, kwa nini nanunua flag? Mpaka umadhi alikuwa anauza flag na akamuuliza, what is wrong with you? Si mimi niko biashara, kijana amekuja kununua flag. Just imagine buying a flag. Ndio nikauliza huyu jamaa, unaniulizaje mambo ya flag? Mbona hujaniuliza nimevaa hii bracelet kwa mkono? I don't know where we are going. Sahi mali imefika, inafaa tu change nini zetu sasa, tutafute mbinu nyingine because jamaa tukiendelea hivi jamaa atatumaliza. Venye nabonga sahi, mimi niliumia mguu jana. Sahi mguu yangu ina bleed, niliumia, sahi niko kejani, hata kutembea ni shida. But I will never give up. Ile kitu inafaa, jana naye mlituangusha, hakuna haja niwadanganye. Jana kuangusha, hata kama ni percent, jana ningewapatia 6 out of 10. Hakuna kitu mlifanya, mjingisha baridi. So the best thing tusikue tu.
Okay, I'm sorry for disrupting again. Kama umetuma pesa sai tu kwa Marvin, kindly DM. Kama umetuma do tukiwa kwa space, kindly DM. Okay, mwenye alikuwa anaongea, you can continue.
Okay. Let me take this opportunity. Sijui kama mnanisikia. Can you hear me, guys? Hello, mnanisikia?
Yes, you're audible. Nasikika.
Yeah. For those who just joined this space later, maybe naona mnaturudisha mahali tulikuwa tumetoka. Before hii space tubadilishe ikuwe title ni let's take to the streets. Kuna vile vitu ambazo tumezungumzia na naona still tuko na negative energy which we do not need here. I have been listening to some of the speakers here na ni kama mnataka kuturudisha tu nyuma. So one thing that I want to say is that already tushaamua kuwa, because we had given a notice ya maandamano ya jana of which it was counteracted by the police. They had planned. We planned this morning so that we can do a counter attack. I want to state categorically here, there is no way you will ever do something here in Kenya which is a secret. Huwezi panga kitu hapa Kenya tuseme unapanga ni secret. That is not possible. Anything that you plan, mradi inahusisha mtu mmoja, wawili, wamefika watano, you can be assured it is known. The strategy here is the notice. If we are giving a short notice, like today, we woke up in the morning and we thought that, guys, we can't give up. Let's before we give up on demonstration to same as work, let's go to the streets when the police least expected. We know they are here. It's a short notice. Hii si wiki mbili kama ile ya 8-8. Tumeamka asubuhi, watu walikuwa wameona usiku, watu wame give up, and now we are in the streets. As we talk, people are on the ground right now waiting for you, and you are here arguing, oh, tusiseme vitu sijui nini. How are you going to get people to the streets if you are not communicating to them? The issue here is we are not giving long notices. Like today, we just said we are going to the streets. People are already there, and people are busy saying, let us sijui relax, sijui re-strategize. What are we re-strategizing? And people are already in the streets. Kama unaogopa, ama you walk with the crowds, that's okay. Me, I've had an opportunity to deal with people. Leading people is difficult. Sometimes you show up and you are alone and you feel like people have betrayed you. That is a very wrong mentality. This thing should be personal, guys. You can't be telling me that you were demoralized because people did not show up. No, you showed up for yourself. And that is enough. You won. So for now, I don't know. Tulikuwa tumesema by 10:30 watu wakuwe tao. Na watu washaenda tao. As we talk, watu tuko tao. And you are here saying, oh, sijui 1 week, sijui to re-strategize. When will you ever be serious? Kama kitu emergency huwezi tokelezea na ndio tuone vile vitu zitaenda, unaongea unasema nini? Please msiturudishe nyuma. Me, I want watu wa show up. Then after today, then we can come back and now give reports comparing a demonstration where we gave a notice of 2 weeks and the one that we gave a notice of 2 hours. Let's go to the streets right now. Tulikuwa tumeagree space ishe by 10:30. Hata naona it's 4 minutes to time so that people can come to town. And those who do not want to come, it's okay. You have your right to choose to go or to choose not to go. But mimi nawaaji tu wase, wachani bad energy, sijui nini social media, hiyo ni bad energy. Don't speak about that issues right now. We are talking about how are we going to occupy the streets right now because people already are on the ground. Tuache hiyo mama bana. Tokelezea. Just come for yourself and don't look at who is going to come. Be on your own. When you get to town, you will meet us. Some of us are in Uhuru Park and others are on their way coming. Archives, tutapatana hapo and we will see. So tuache hiyo bad energy, tutokelezee. That is my submission.
Well, personally, I'd like to agree with Kamu Jr. because this whole thing of back and forth, saa zingine, it gets a bit, annoying and frustrating. I know the space is about to end, so I won't say much, but I'll be waiting for the next space to start. Personally, I was there yesterday at town, CBD, and I was trying to locate Watu via the social media. And, the problem is when you are alone qua street, as you said, in terms of where you don't see the groupings, you don't see even few people, it becomes an issue because kama yesterday I was filming these mercenaries, these goons who are in plain clothes. And I happen to notice they have been traveling with an escort. And the people on ground, pia hawa wamebriefiwa, like the policemen, once they see somebody taking a video na wako isolated on their own, lazima wamshike. Because me nilishikwa na watu wawili. And upon being apprehended, there was one friendly cop there, and this other one was like basically kuonesha kifua, like unafanya nini? Do you know this is wrong? Unajua hii sheria ikubali? And I'm like, wale wanashoot watu wenye wamesimama with tear gas canisters. How is that right? This guy is like, unaongelesha nani hivyo? And I'm like, okay, unataka aje? This other one was like, fungua simu. Nini una record? Where is your press pass? So once I opened the phone and deleted the video, this other guy was like, enda. No, this other one was like, the civic education we are doing in terms of like educating our people. I think that should also be done to the police force. because there's an element of anger. I don't know what they're being fed there in terms of information, because once they come to the street, the element of anger is very strong. As I said, I won't talk much because the space was to end at 10:30. So I digress.
Tukutane tao.
Yeah, guys, thank you. So wenye tunaenda street, in case of communication, you can tweet, tuta amplify. Ukiona haiko amplified, you can DM so that I can amplify. Thank you, bye guys. Space ingine itafunguliwa. Take care all.